Urgent. My sister's YouTube channel at Renawatif has been hacked. Please be aware of any strange or unusual content posted on her channel as it is no longer under her control. We urge you to subscribe to her new channel, Rena Fiction, to avoid any confusion or misinformation. Thank you for your understanding and support during this difficult time. Hello to all lovers of lemon scenes. I invite you all to my boosty so you can watch your favorite Naruto What If stories in complete comfort. A subscription to Naruto Lemon costs $1.04. The first video with a full lemon is already on my boosty channel. Dare! Life can turn upside down with just one alert that would ring a bell in your ears. What could be worse than being in an unknown place, in the body of a child, in a vaguely familiar room? It becomes especially scary when you look out the window and watch strangers who are looking with the desire to crush you on the spot. Pulling your head back sharply and closing the curtains, trying to close yourself off from the world in your corner of tranquility, you will pray that the dream will finally end. But the incessant ringing in my head destroys my last hopes. After all, the head begins to split and hurt. But can it hurt in a dream? Taking a deep breath, the 4-year-old boy, leaning against the wall, sank to the floor, hiding his head behind his bent legs. Wheat-colored hair, contrary to its usual state, fell completely, closing the boy from the world. That I don't know how long I sat like that. Only the feeling of a numb body and the incessant ringing in my head made me wake up. A sharp jump of irritation awakened something dark inside, and the force began to fill the body in slow leaps. Afraid of losing myself, I slapped my cheeks a couple of times, throwing off the obsession. I don't know what helped more, the animal inside me or the pat on the cheeks, but the sound in my head died down. As many realized, I got caught. Although not got. That's right. To fall asleep while reading manga and the desire to possess a power comparable to that of the main character does not lead to good. Although if I had originally got where I wanted to go, there would not have been such a depressed state. Unfortunately, instead of the manga player, I got into the manga Naruto. To a place where a human life is worth exactly what they paid for you at the Kage residence. Fortunately or not, the village will most likely not accept an order for its own jinchuriki. After all, an ace up your sleeve never hurts. That I was distracted from my thoughts by the sound of an empty stomach. After looking around the room for something to eat, I fell into despondency. Judging by the 2 boxes near the door, I moved in yesterday. Deciding to try my luck, I slowly got up and went to the boxes. The first one contained a change of clothes, 2 pairs of pants, 3 t-shirts, 1 pair of shorts and 1 warm orange jacket. After examining the shabby things, darned in several places, I had to make a note about buying a new one. The second box was also not very happy. It was completely filled with custard noodles. No, I myself had to eat these plastic-flavored pasta, especially in the last days of the month, when there were pitiful crumbs left from the scholarship that could only be used for a subway ride. Taking a bigger box, and going to the place that is called the kitchen in this apartment by mistake, I put the kettle on the stove and began to wait. After a few minutes, the kettle boiled. After opening the box and dumping spices from small bags on the pasta, I filled them with water, after pulling the sticks out of the box. Covering the plastic saucer with a clean plate, I started messing around again. Finally, having reached the condition, I decided to separate the chopsticks and was about to start eating when a small rectangular crab appeared before my eyes. Frightened, I fell on my back, hitting my head painfully. Fuck, it hurts. What would you? And through, having poured out my soul, I focused my eyes on the sign that I was wrong. It's not just a hit, it's a complete ass. Congratulations, you have discovered the skill, culinary art level 1, 0%. That's a twist. So a twist. Forgetting about the food, I almost looked at the gilded icon that loomed before my eyes. After a couple of seconds, she disappeared. And what to do? Of course, it will sound stupid, but I can't not try. Status window, character, Naruto Uzumaki, age, 4 years, level, 1, 0%. Class, no, health, 60/60 chakra, 40, plus 60/100 power, 6 stamina, 6 intelligence, 4 dexterity, 5 wisdom, 2 about the character. Thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive KI resistance skill, skills, passive, KI resistance level 8, 46%. Physical attack resistance level 3, 23.76%. Fire element resistance level 0, 0%. Water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. The art of cooking 1, 0%. Active, missing. Did you want to get into a gamer? So I got on my head. From the overabundance of information for the day, my head just turned off near the half-eaten ramen. The awakening was at the same place where I passed out. Judging by the rays of the sun impudently beating through the holes of the curtains, it is already the morning of the next day. Getting up and looking around the room that had not changed overnight, my gaze fell on the half-eaten noodles. Well, what can I say, if these hoses, although they used to look like pasta, now it's a terrible substance that had to be eaten through force. Still, knowing the canon, I had to accept that the good, though such, cannot be lost. After a hearty breakfast, I had to run to the toilet so as not to flood the hostel. Going to the box of things, I quickly shuffled the clothes into an old, honest-to-God closet. After all, in vain I only talk about the closet, everything in this apartment is based on this. Flopping down on the bed, I looked at the white envelope that was lying on the pillow. Unfortunately, I couldn't read the hieroglyphs. But the pieces of paper that spilled out of him prompted a conclusion about the allowance. Well, what can I say? I hope for 1500 Ri I will be able to buy some products and things, interesting and promising. Having decided to experiment in shouting stupid phrases, I finally got lucky. I was able to open the settings only on the 4th attempt. Well, as I could, I just thought of saying that word. After reading a little information about the world, I had to clench my fists tightly and think. There was no information about how to get skills and increase stats at all. And the phrase, "learn to survive," did not inspire confidence. As you can understand, there was very little information, but there was a whole paragraph about classes. There were several general and hidden classes. Which ones are not written, but each of them gave a number of bans and restrictions. But the most important thing was the postscript: some classes can be combined. I don't quite understand what it is, but if it's what I think it will be fun. Another pleasant discovery was the inventory. But this is from which side to look at. Initially, it has 10 slots for 10 kilograms. It does not matter which item to put in one of the slots. If its weight is more than necessary, then the speed of movement drops. And this is just the speed that will happen during battles. I'm even afraid to imagine. But there are hints of the power of blows and endurance. Fortunately, not everything is so bad. As the strength increases, the weight of the portable increases, and as the level increases, the number of slots increases. And no matter how you look at it, it was possible to live. At least for the first time. But the issue of increasing stats has become acute. If in the manga Naruto raised them by running away from the villagers and constant punches, then this approach does not suit me at all. And the skills are not all right. Let's say the training place is easy to find, but what to do with the observers? I feel with my ass that they are even now looking at both eyes. Congratulations, you have discovered the intuition skill. Many people rarely trust their sixth sense, but it has passed the threshold of normal for you. Intuition level 1, 2.12%. It looks like the skills aren't that hard to open. But now there is a question of the need for training. Not to Hokage, however, will get over. Most likely he will send me to the interrogation room and disembowel me. Notification, intuition level 1, 54.23%. Well, at least I got something from doing nothing. Okay, it's time to stop thinking and go shopping. Buy something. I wonder why the wisdom of so many sensible thoughts has not increased. I smell a trick again. Notification, intuition level 2, 0.64%. It's definitely time now. Going to the closet and taking more or less whole pants and a t-shirt, I quickly changed my clothes and left the apartment. After descending the stairs from the third floor, I stood near the edge of the alley, examining the street for the presence of residents. After waiting until the passing residents moved away, I ran out and ducked into the shadow of the next alley, hiding from people. Congratulations, you have discovered the skill, stealth. People tend not to pay attention to what they cannot see and feel. Thanks to the skill, people pay less attention to you. Only an experienced detective will find you in the shadows. Stealth level 1, 34.12%. Another skill in the piggy bank. Great, if it goes on like this, skills won't be a big problem, at least passive ones. While I was getting to a more or less remote and inconspicuous grocery store, the stealth increased to the 4th level. The store itself was empty. There were no customers anywhere, and it was hard to call it a store, a rectangular tent with a plump mustachioed salesman who was lazily reading a book. The image of a Caucasian seller in the market was broken only by a narrow slit of the eyes and an empty street 4 meters wide. The houses were low and looked like they were about to crumble in the wind. After waiting a couple more minutes to make sure no one would show up, I came out of hiding. While I was walking towards the tent, looking around, I had a feeling that someone would jump out of the alley and hit me with something hard on the head, but fortunately this did not happen. The goods were not of the best quality. But if you choose carefully, I think a fresh breakfast of vegetables will be good. Having chosen a couple of fresher vegetables, I already wanted to shout out to the seller how, congratulations, you have discovered the skill, evaluation. Thanks to your eyes, you can easily separate a quality item from consumer goods. Rating level 1, 76.83%. Looks like I'm getting used to it. It's time to finish here and move on to, excuse me, Merchant-san. Could you count what I chose? Of course, of course. Wait a sec. Putting the book away, he deigned to look at me. The eyes that a second ago radiated kindness and honesty, began to look with contempt and hatred. Damn demon. That'll be 500 pay up and get out, he's crazy. Yes, I don't have to pay more than 110, sorry, the seller-san, but there are prices on those pieces of paper. You have greatly overstated. Congratulations, wisdom plus 1 so the wisdom has risen to, okay, 250 and get out. Congratulations, you have discovered the trade skill. Thanks to your talents in trading, the prices of purchased goods are reduced by 5%, and the additional price of 2% of the total cost is for the sold ones. Trading level 1, 92.54%. Oh, that's better. Maybe he'll throw it off again. That's a cheapskate. I've only dropped 80 yet. But he raised the trade to the 3rd level. When I finished with the vegetables, I quickly ran into the alley. Next is a shop with meat products. Sighing heavily, I stumbled into the house. There was a stall with meat, but who knew that it was so expensive? Almost 700 for 4 kilograms. Throwing the remaining money into the inventory, I shuffled the purchases into the refrigerator and sat down on the bed. In the end, there was no strength left to cook dinner for myself. Putting the kettle on, I prepared another homeless package, and began to think about the current situation. In total, stealth became the 8th level, trade, the 9th, and all thanks to the butcher. The original price exceeded 5,000 Ri, but thanks to a persistent dispute, I managed to throw off 700. I would probably have thrown in 500, but my intuition worked and I had to pay. When I ran into the alley, drunken passers-by fell out of the next street. After this incident, intuition jumped to the 3rd level. In addition to these skills, the assessment also rose. Initially this freak tried to sell me rotten meat that was lying in a bucket near the stall. Having cursed this asshole again, I took off the kettle and brewed noodles. After 5 minutes of finishing the noodles, and throwing out the plastic dishes, I went to bed. Tomorrow promises to be difficult. The morning began with drunken screams under the window. Drunk citizens began to throw stones. Fortunately these snipers did not hit the window. I was distracted from their screams by an icon looming before my eyes. Congratulations. Key resistance average level 3, 54.76%. Because of the constant proximity to an evil creature, it is harder to scare you. Only the thirst for killing a creature stronger than your neighbor will be able to penetrate you. Ki resistance average level 3, 54.99%. Thanks to your neighbor, stun attacks have a worse effect on you. Torpor resistance level 4, 45.64%. Congratulations, you have opened the skill resistance to stupor level 4, 45.64%. The level of strength of the enemy exceeding you by 19 levels does not have any influence on you. Resistance level 4, 45.64%. Wow. It looks like the fox is working hard. I feel sorry for him. All the attempts bring me only an increase in skills. I wonder what his level is. It would be necessary to go to the settings again. Well, what can I say? I'm an idiot. You should have viewed everything initially. Having set up the interface to see the levels of the others, I got up and trudged to relieve myself. Having finished with the important things, and changed into clean clothes, I had to swear at myself again. There was one pair of pants, shorts, and one t-shirt left. The rest was dirty. After filling the tub, I poured in the old washing powder left over from the previous owners and started washing. Congratulations, you have discovered the skill, washing. Many people have to wet their hands in water to wash clothes, especially an orphan. Washing level 1, 12.34%. When I finished with my things, I hung them on a string in the bathtub. I'm afraid if I hang the laundry on the street, passers-by will take the last of the orphan's underpants. The laundry went up to the 2nd level. Taking out yesterday's purchases, I quickly cooked a salad of vegetables and, having satisfied my hunger, wearily sat down on a chair. Congratulations, you have created a new dish, vegetable salad. Thanks to the vitamins in your dish, regeneration of health plus 9%, relief of general fatigue, you feel lightness in the body, and it really got easier. Having decided to finish with chores around the house, I started cleaning. And the following icons did not bring a huge surprise. Congratulations, you have discovered the skill, cleaning. You can't forbid living beautifully. The main thing is to clean your home in time. Cleaning level 1, 34.54%. Congratulations, you have received the status, Dust Destroyer. Congratulations, you have received the status, Clean. Congratulations, you have received the status, Desperate Housewife. That last one was not necessary. But what can I do? By the middle of the day, my status window looked like this. Character, Naruto Uzumaki. Status, Dust Destroyer. Clean, Desperate Housewife. Age, 4 years. Level, 1, 0%. Class, None. Health, 60/60 chakra, 40, plus 60/100 strength, 6 endurance, 6 intelligence, 4 dexterity, 5 wisdom, 3 about the character. Thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive Ki resistance skill. Skills, passive, Ki resistance average level 4, 23.12%. Physical attack resistance level 3, 23.76%. Fire element resistance level 0, 0%. Water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. The art of cooking 2, 23.21%. Intuition level 3, 87.25%. Hidden level 8, 45.79%. Trading level 9, 8.76%. Rating level 2, 12.32%. Numbness resistance level 6, 31.87%. Washing level 2, 98.12%. Cleaning level 5, 67.83%. Active, missing. Sorry for the long wait. I've been thinking too much about the pumping problem. Many people did not like it, the pitch was too fast. Do not be surprised by the abundance of skills and their pumping. By the graduation of the Shinobi Academy, you will all understand why this is so, and about titles too. I had to replay the plot, so getting to know the fox only after graduating from the academy, it's a pity, of course, but there is no other way out. And again, the chapters are not checked. Beta is studying, and so am I, so if anyone can help, I will be glad. Thank you in advance that I was thinking about how to solve the issue with training, going through the options, trying to choose a safe one. And the more I thought about it, the worse it got. The only true training option in these conditions was well described in the canon. To begin with, let's outline the situation. With this workout, there is an option to unlock a lot of skills. But the problem is that even if you fail, the skills will open up, even if not quite pleasant. But it is worth admitting that the idea is brilliant. I stood in the alley and watched the drunken townspeople. The smallest level was that of a middle-aged man. And this is not the 12th or 15th, but the whole fucking 32nd. Even in spite of his drunken state, I felt uneasy. But since there is no other way out, it looks like it's time to start. The street near a small restaurant was filled with drunken shinobi and civilians. A boy of about 4 with wheat-colored hair, wearing gray trousers and a red t-shirt, slowly climbed out of the alley. The men who had been drinking before crossed their eyes at the child. There was a silence on the street that was about to be broken. The boy, realizing that everyone was looking at him, abruptly turned around and ran away. The villagers who had been standing before jumped up sharply from their seats and set off in pursuit. Looks like it was a bad idea. I should have chosen another place. Who pulled me today to bring this damn idea into reality? Looking back, my heart skipped a beat. A huge angry crowd, which had not let off steam for a long time, ran after me. Heck! Go go! Something intuition is naughty. Succumbing to his persuasions, I tilt my head to the right, so that at this moment an empty bottle of sake would flash by next to my face. Congratulations, later. Disable the notification system. Picking up the surviving neck of a bottle with a sharp glass tip on the run, I ran out into the alley. So, this area has already been surveyed by me. Here to the right, now straight, again to the right. Hooray! The next street. Heck! Where did they come from here? A crowd of crazy drunks jumped out of a nearby alley. Mother! There are more of them. Throwing the neck, and hitting one of the drunkards in the hand with the sharp end, I ran away. Running from the mad crowd, simultaneously avoiding collisions from objects flying from behind, I ran out to an unexplored part of the village. But this is bad. I don't know anything here, one mistake and I'll be beaten. Running out into the open street, I turned into an alley, avoiding an unwanted meeting. Seeing the opening of the next street, the legs themselves accelerated when there were no more than 10 meters left before the end. As a drunken shinobi ran in from there, turning sharply, I saw a drunken pandemonium. Spitting on the danger, I ran to the right to run into a high wall. It's going to hurt now. The small exit of the alley was filled with angry civilians and shinobi. Getting ready to feel the blows on my own skin, I rushed to the crowd, knocking down the first opponent. Consciousness returned in fits and starts. Here's a crowd of drunks being dispersed by a couple of ambushnik, here's one lifting me in his arms, then the wind whistling in my ears, the smell of medicines, people in white coats, a bandaged mummy with one eye, an old man in a hat with a pipe, a gray-haired shinobi clenching his fists angrily, a black-haired beautiful woman with a boy of my age, a tall black-haired man next to her, something yelling at an old man with a pipe and a mummy, several masked shinobi looking indifferently at everyone, and then a green hand on his head and darkness. I woke up at night. The warm wind from the window pleasantly ruffled the hair scattered on the pillow. A few fruits with a pleasant smell standing on the nightstand made the stomach utter muffled moans. Taking out the first apple one came across, I crunched it with relish, actively worked with my jaws. What can I say? Just that I'm a complete idiot and a scumbag. We quit training before entering the academy. Although who am I kidding, with all my desire it will not work. After all, the clan has already begun to train, and I can only gain points by masochism. If it were my will, I would send everything to Na, but what can you do if you got into the hero of his manga mother, who is destined to save the world, and lose friends more than once? This life is completely different from the usual peaceful existence on Earth. I do not argue there are advantages here. Walking on vertical surfaces and water, you can feel like a god. Some characters can fly at all. A world in which, literally, you can rise to the level of the Ubernagebator, spitting on everything and everything. But in order to get the power, you need to work like hell, or get it as an inheritance. You can say I was lucky to get into the main character. For example, if I got into some left-wing character who was not in the clan at all, who has chakras with Gulkin's nose, and getting knowledge is not an option at all, because of the origin. It's a pity that even I don't have access to knowledge that would help me to level up. Alas! The weapons of the village should go out on bare strength and power. Who needs technicians? Ha! The main thing is to hit harder, and spend half of the reserve, and then finish off the survivors, than to spend a little chakra with the same technique and fill up everyone. Now it is clear why in the canon why Naruto had no normal techniques. Uzumaki's legacy? Twice ha! Such a clan would destroy everything before death out of harmfulness. And think about the descendants? But even if the knowledge has survived, who will give me at least one peek at them? How else to get power? Think head, I'll buy a hat. So, what do we know from the canon? Naruto is the third Jinchuriki fox, he is the last, one might say, the prince of Uzumaki and the heir of the fourth, he is Otsutsuki Ashura, or rather the third reincarnation, the second was Hashirama. I wonder if I'm supposed to have a Makuden or not. What's next for us? So we will get the power of the sage only when fighting Madara. No, it's not rolling. You need to be at least equal to Gaara already on the exam, otherwise the Arctic fox will sneak up unnoticed. Okay, let's finish this for now. It's better to look at the buns that I got. Congratulations, you have discovered the evasion skill, evasion level 4, 34.87%. Congratulations, you have discovered the active skill throw. Despite the fact that you successfully hit the target, there will be problems with this skill. Be careful using this skill. After all, you have not studied with professionals. Roll level 1, 12.36%. Cost, 0 chakra units, I see. Rollback time 0 required, an item to throw. Congratulations, you have opened the active skill jerk. Thanks to the desire to live, what only a person cannot do. A useful skill for striking an unexpected blow, or hiding in the fog. Allows you to make a quick leap forward by 5 meters. With the development of the skill, the length of the jerk can increase and the consumption of the chakra decrease. jerk level 1, 13.78%. Cost, 20 EC. The rollback time is 10 seconds, congratulations, you have received the status, the first idiot of the village. It's a pity to give even a donkey a nickname in your name, congratulations, you have received the status, loser of the year. Only a complete person can get lost in his own village, congratulations, you have received the status, hero seinen. Only characters of this genre can think of this kind of gotcha, congratulations, you got the skill, a complete masochist. Only a person with a perverted mind and a stingy imagination can train like this, notification, fracture of the femur, health minus 10 units, health regeneration, 20%. Dexterity-4 notification, head injury, health minus 5, health regeneration minus 5%. Intelligence minus 1, wisdom-1. Notification, multiple hematomas on the body, health minus 5, health regeneration minus 2%. Strength-2. Notification, fracture of the radius, health minus 10, health regeneration minus 10%. Strength-2. Notification, endurance +1 notification, endurance +1 notification, dexterity +1 notification, dexterity +1 attention, outside influence, unknown persons have put you to sleep, attention, you are affected by the effects of the hospital, health +10, regeneration +50%, attention, you are affected by medicinal drugs. Regeneration +20%. That I didn't run badly. There are a lot of bonuses, but I don't like titles at all, thank Kami, there are no effects from them. Otherwise I'm afraid to imagine what would have happened to me. Do and not think that lying in the hospital and doing nothing is bad. The Arctic fox comes when all the staff with cute smiles can hardly restrain themselves, so as not to kill you. Several times a nurse, quite pretty, came and thoughtfully looked at the scalpel in her pocket, and then at my throat. After such an attitude, it's no wonder why the original Naruto ran away from here. In addition to all the previous bonuses, an icon constantly loomed in front of my eyes, which notified of outside interference and increased the regeneration of health by as much as 300%. How much energy does a whole fox have if I have only a part? I'm even scared to see the status of this monster. If you think I've been sitting around all day doing nothing, you'll be partially right. For 2 days now, my eyes have been staring at the apple. And what do you think? It's not a fig. That's the problem. I wanted to open the recognition skill, but it didn't work out. The 5th day of my stay in the hospital was a success. How I cursed when I realized what I was doing wrong. This is how you need to get wise. I should have just said recognition out loud, and that was it. Fuck him. One fucking word. Well, and then? Who would doubt it? Congratulations, you have opened the active recognition skill, an important skill with which you can learn everything about a subject. The higher the skill level, the more information you get about it. Recognition level 1, 5.76%. Cost 10 EC. The rollback time is 5 seconds, congratulations, you have received the status, cretin. Your stupidity is growing exponentially, only a true dalb would spend so much time on this skill. Well, what do you think I was doing? Of course, I determined everything that was possible. By the end of the 2nd week of my stay here, I learned a lot of interesting things. For example, active skills develop more slowly. The more efficiently you use them, the faster the skill growth. By the way, thanks to recognition, I'm a steer. Borrowed a couple of regeneration-enhancing drugs. And of course, congratulations, you got the pickpocket skill. Who said that thieves are noble? Feel free to spit in his face. Pickpocket level 1, 12.65%. The house met me with centimeter dust and a mess. It seems that the residents were not satisfied with my broken carcass, so they recouped the apartment. Those brutes. They destroyed all my clothes. Where am I going to get a new one now? It's worth a fortune. Looking in the direction of the kitchen, I could barely contain my mother's words. All products are destroyed. There's nothing left. Although everything would have gone bad in 2 weeks anyway, but why dump everything on the floor? I've cleaned so much. Well, how to live here at all? Approaching a tightly packed piece of meat, I tore the plastic bag a little, and barely restrained the urge to vomit. Heck! What a stink! What freaks! Can anyone shove this stuff in their mouth at night? Cleaning took a whole day. Wearily plopping down on the floor, Naruto sighed heavily. Hunger consumed consciousness. Damn people! Even the noodles were unpacked and broken. And what to eat? These freaks will regret what they did. You have taken away my food and things, then I will take away the same from you. I don't care that I don't know who did it, the whole village will moan only when I appear. Maybe I'll send everything to Na and release the fox, maybe I'll die, but I'll be sure that many will die. Reflections on the great revenge were interrupted by the night guests. What else do they want to play with a demon? Well, then I'll upset them. Getting up and going to the kitchen, I pulled out the last surviving kitchen knife and went to the apartment door. Opening the door and getting ready to give my life more expensively, I looked in surprise at 2 large paper bags that were standing near the front door. Looking into them, I laughed. Freaks. They think I'll take their handouts. Roll into the abyss. You belong there. Maybe Russians love freebies, but they will never stoop to taking handouts from some well-wishers. Having thrown off my purchases from the 3rd floor, I headed towards Ichiraku. It seems that it is not my fate to eat normally. POV of Kakashi. Heck. What to do? I can't directly help him. And Hokage and Danzo will not allow themselves to reveal themselves. Do these sclerotics really think that their favorite weapon will tear veins for the sake of the village? Everything that the orphan had was simply broken. Teacher, if you knew what was waiting for your son, then why did you do that? After all, even you had Jiraiya, who replaced your father. And what does the boy have, whom every second wants to kill? He spent the whole day putting the house in order. I mended the old things, and threw away the food. He can get permission from the Hokage for a little intervention. I'm sure he should understand. Well, I understood in my own way. I can buy things and food, but I can't show up. Putting things near the front door, I knocked a couple of times and disappeared. Go out with a knife to the guests. It's going to be harder than I thought. Oh, I noticed the packages. Why is he laughing? And now he's angry. Throw away things for 30,000 Ri. We must urgently report to the Hokage, and POV Hiruzen Sarutobi. The boy stopped believing anyone. This was not part of our plans. It seems that analysts from the ANBU and mentalists made a mistake in their conclusions. Most likely the fox burned the bookmarks. It's a pity that Yamanaka couldn't pass the fox's defense. And I haven't visited Jinchuriki for a long time. This changes the plans. If he turns into a monster that lives in the land of the wind, then everyone will be sad. He can introduce a civilian, he will become his friend, he will say a lot of good things about the good Hokage, then several meetings at the residence, a promise to train, and after the relocation of a friend, the good grandfather Hokage will remain. We need to finalize the inaccuracies and it will go end. To be honest, it is not bad to cook in this Ichiraku and it is not expensive. It looks like until the end of the month, I'm registered here. 20 Ri ramen with pork, ate 5 portions without noticing, got 2 more for free. It looks like the time in the hospital has not passed in vain, the body wants to replenish the lost reserves. I got home by alleys, robbing drunks who had fallen asleep on the street and shops along the way. A few clean wet clothes trampled into the ground restored my mental balance. That I fell asleep with a smile on my lips, having set the alarm for 4 in the morning in advance that I in the morning I quickly washed, pulled out the last kitchen knife, and went to be a hero. After cutting out some ropes on which clothes were dried, I ran into the alley. A few stolen buckets of paints and brushes also settled near my feet. First of all, I went to the shopping district. I hung a couple of buckets of paints on the doors, put a few foot traps, and sawed off the legs of wooden display cases for vegetables and fruits with a rusty saw that I found in the trash, climbed onto the roof of one of the 3-story houses. I will never forget such fun. Now, we're even. I hope that no one will have the desire to break mine anymore. It's nice to lie in bed and do nothing. For my pranks, I received several skills and statuses. Congratulations, you have gained the skill of creating simple traps. Creating simple traps level 3, 2.03%. Congratulations, you have received the status, a pain in the ass. Congratulations, you have received the status, clown. In general, the day started well. And my stats window looked like this: character, Naruto Uzumaki, status, dust destroyer. Clean girl. Desperate housewife. The first idiot of the village. Loser of the year. The hero is Senin. A complete masochist. You idiot. A pain in the ass. The clown, age, 4 years, level, 1, 0%. Class, no, health, 80/80 chakra, 40, plus 60/100 power, 6 stamina, 8 intelligence, 4 dexterity, 7 wisdom, 3 about the character. Thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive KI resistance skill. Skills, passive, KI resistance average level 6, 14.12%. Physical attack resistance level 3, 23.76%. Fire element resistance level 0, 0%. Water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. The art of cooking 2, 23.21%. Intuition level 3, 87.25%. Hidden level 8, 45.79%. Trading level 9, 8.76%. Rating level 2, 12.32%. Washing level 2, 98.12%. Cleaning level 5, 67.83%. Evasion level 4, 34.87%. Pickpocket level 1, 78.12%. Creating simple traps level 3, 2.03%. Active role level 1, 12.36%. Cost, 0 chakra units, IC. Rollback time 0 required, an item to throw, jerk level 1, 13.78%. Cost, 20 EC, rollback time 10 seconds recognition level 2, 55.78%. Cost 10 EC. The rollback time is 5 seconds. I have a whole day of rest ahead of me. Although what the hell is a vacation when there is no money in your pocket? I will have to live on the pennies that are left for almost 2 more weeks. And you can't stretch it in any way, the body needs building materials after beating. You can also try hunting and fishing, since there are a couple of streams and lakes in the village itself. Still, I would like to know where to get a gun or at least a bow and arrows, although I shoot pretty lousy, but thanks to the swing of the skill, I will manage somehow. And the issue with spinning has not been resolved, and I have only heard about extreme types of fishing. I have never tried it myself. There's a dead end everywhere. Well, I'm not going to dig in the trash cans, am I? How else can I get food or earn money? Missions before receiving the rank of genin are eliminated. Ask for someone? I'm afraid I'll go to the hospital after that, again. Stealing? No. Wrong upbringing. Maybe visit the Uzumaki quarter? And then to please Marino? Also not an option that I didn't have time to put my thoughts in order, as my stomach reminded me of itself. Jumping out of bed, I went outside and went to Ichiraku. Running around the back alley to the diner was still a pleasure. Although everything was quite strange. Streets and shops were decorated with lanterns and huge posters depicting the fourth Hokage. Now it's clear, probably tomorrow is the day of victory over the fox and my birthday is also on top of everything. It's good that I decided to go out today after a joke, otherwise it would be quite fun tomorrow. I got to the noodle shop quickly, despite the fact that I walked through the alleys. Just like yesterday, old Tucci was smiling and cooking noodles. After examining the street for the presence of passers-by, I breathed a sigh of relief and went outside. I had to return home the same way, but first I decided to explore the unexplored part of the village. I finished it only in the evening, and went to bed without having dinner. The morning began with the screams of passers-by. Everyone decided to remind of their existence. Chuka told me that it was impossible to stay and spend the night in the house today. I had 430 ri left in my pocket, which was enough for 4 days for a maximum of 10. As I said, the body demanded its own. After thinking about it, I decided to save money and went to Ichiraku. Unfortunately, Tucci didn't work today. It remained only to go to one of the distant polygons. Unfortunately, we will have to starve today. Finding a suitable training ground was a no-brainer. Yesterday of course I didn't get to these places, but I saw the approximate location of the training bases, so to speak, on the map that hung at the entrance to this part of the village. Having settled down in a small clearing, I tried to fall asleep. I woke up at about 8 o'clock in the evening. From the center of the village, even here, the noise of the holiday could be heard. The mood was not to hell. Hungry and frozen, I went to the house to fall asleep again and wake up in the morning of a new day. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Shinobi passers-by hanging around my house had fun breaking the windows of the hostel and decorating the walls. The bad mood got even worse. After all, then I have to wash everything. Nobody lives in this house except me. Getting angry at the drunken rowdies, I started collecting stones and putting them in my pocket. Having filled everything I could with shells, I went out into the light and started shooting passers-by. I always knew there was something wrong with my head, but now everyone has found out about it. Almost everyone I met was chasing me now. Well, think about it, I lit up a couple of times between my legs, so let's get to it. It's no good writing obscenities on my walls. And in general it's fun. Mother, mother, mother. These morons started throwing kunai. Thank Kami, they're tipsy, fucking snipers. Running, knocking over everything that came to hand, began to tire. Despite the boxes, garbage cans, glass from bottles, the inhabitants chasing me did not become less. When I reached the place of celebration of the festival, I stopped abruptly. Most of the people fell silent and stared at me. Realizing that I was in trouble, I turned sharply to the right and took off even faster than before. Looking back, my heart skipped a beat. A huge crowd in a kimono with kunai in their hands chased poor me. Speeding up even faster, I saw a tent with fireworks. The plan matured in the blink of an eye. Grabbing one of the lanterns, I ran up to the cherished tent. The people who had been running after me stopped abruptly. The workers standing in the tent threw down their torches and abruptly disappeared. Picking up one of them, I abruptly aimed a couple of missiles at the crowd. Shinobi who were in the crowd jumped onto the roofs, and ordinary people turned around sharply, but did not have time to escape. The first batch of rockets went into the crowd. While there was panic, I tied a couple of firecrackers to the rockets and launched them again. The mood was at its height. Laughing madly, I kept sending rockets and sending them. when I realized that the crowd in a panic started shelling the roofs. Shinobi tried to approach several times, but when they saw how the hand fell a couple of times on the boxes with firecrackers, they changed their decision. The fun ended with an unexpected blow to the back of the head. The gaze caught on the torch, which exactly fell on the box with firecrackers. The explosion of a tent with fireworks attracted the attention of the Hokage, who even that day filled out papers and bonfired everyone in a row. After a few seconds, Anbu appeared next to the ruler, who knelt down and waited for the ruler's order. Tell me. The voice of the third Hokage was chilling to the bone. Despite the calm tone, there was a steely note in the ruler's voice that almost brought Anbu to a heart attack. Mr. Hokage, Jinchuriki is in the hospital with severe injuries. The whole body is in third-degree burns. He was badly hurt by the explosion. What kind of explosion? Hiruzen was surprised. What did the little monster do? Should he sort it out again? After sleeping at the training ground, Jinchuriki decided to return to the hostel. When he saw the residents who were breaking windows and shitting the walls, he lost his temper and started throwing stones at them. There was a chase that was joined by residents participating in the festival. Seeing the demon decided to punish him and also joined the chase. Everyone stopped running, only when Jinchuriki captured a tent with fireworks. The crowd and shinobi on the roofs were living targets for the demon. Only thanks to the wolf, who crept up unnoticed and knocked him out, Jinchuriki managed to stop. Unfortunately, the wolf quickly relaxed and the torch in Jinchuriki's hands fell on a box with firecrackers. Both Anbu and the demon suffered. Both are in the hospital. How could you allow such a thing? Why did Anbu, the shinobi elite, allow the torch to fall? Mr. Hokage, the wolf is a trainee and only works for a week. I don't care. Send him to the border with Kiri. Let him learn to always be ready. Make sure that all the perpetrators receive the punishment they deserve. Those who were guilty in the past of the task of catching Nuke Nin should be sent to clean the Jinchuriki dormitory and put new windows. And now I'm free. Consciousness returned reluctantly, the whole body ached, and a desert formed in the throat. Seeing that I was awake, Mednin put his hand on my head and darkness came again. The second awakening was easier. The body was completely wrapped in bandages, but even lifting it felt like the new skin had already grown. Having untied the bandages, I quickly looked around the room and found fruit on the nightstand, joyfully reached for them. Taking the biggest apple, I bit into it with my teeth. After eating a couple of apples, I flopped down on the bed. Well, and now buns. Notification, endurance +1 notification, dexterity +1 notification, dexterity +1 notification, endurance +1 notification, strength +1 notification, endurance +1. Congratulations, you got the title. Pyromaniac, congratulations, you got the title. Terrorist arsonist, notification, fire element resistance level 4, 74.64%. Not much. There are no new skills, but the old ones have been pumped. So we remove the notification about the damage received and the explosion. I wonder why I didn't get the skill, because I fired so many rockets and firecrackers at people. It's a pity, of course, but nothing can be done. I was discharged from the hospital only 3 days later. All this time, they tried to poison me and injected strange drugs, after which I became very ill. Spitting on the reptiles, I ran away to the hostel and they brought me an extract there. Life in Konoha was more like a survival camp. Every day I had to almost break through with a fight. After my antics at the festival, people hated me even more and always tried to shit. Fortunately, I did not remain in debt and paid 3 times the amount. Every day turned into a training ground for masochists. I was in the hospital more and more often, but as soon as I came to, I tried to escape. Peers attacked several times and that's when I was very surprised. That day everything happened as always. People were shitting on me, I was shitting on them. And so, after committing retribution, I went to Ichiraku and having refreshed himself, decided to sit out at a distant training ground. All along the way, intuition screamed about danger, but I thought that the further away from people the safer it would be. But when I went quite far away, 8 children came out of the bushes. The youngest was 10, the oldest was 13. There were treads on 2 of them. And then I realized that I had hit it. If adults can beat, but not kill, then children who have felt the taste of power will go to the end even without realizing it themselves. My first thought was to run away, but as soon as I started to turn around, I noticed movement out of the corner of my eye. Only thanks to the jerk skill I was able to get away from the blow. Now I understood the difference between shinobi and humans. Even genin moved 10 times faster than an ordinary person. It was something. It seems even he was surprised. For a minute it seemed to me that the world had stopped, and I was already standing 5 meters away from him. It's a pity this skill can't be adapted for combat. The boy's surprise quickly passed, and was replaced by hatred. Well, what about the demon? Do you think you could dodge and that's it? Your parents are in the hospital because of you. And now I'm going to send you there too. The children standing nearby supported the leader's attitude and began to surround me. For the first time in my life, I felt funny. How did these boobies even dare to attack me? Yes, I managed to escape from the whole village. Having decided to beat up the weak for now, I went on the attack. It was a pity the chakra was not enough, and the Regan is small. A right blow to the face threw the smallest one away from me. Despite my small stature, I was able to pump up my strength a little when I dragged furniture back and forth for 4 days under the guise of rearranging the apartment. Unfortunately, my luck ended there and a punch in the stomach threw me back, taking 10 points of life. That's what a punch imbued with chakra means. They took so many fractures from me, and this freak with 1 blow. Getting up quickly, I used a jerk. Unfortunately, during the skill, I have poor control of my body, so I tilted my head forward, hoped for luck and it did not let me down. A powerful blow to the stomach with my head, growth, sent my opponent on a date with a tree. The main and small ones were disabled, and the chakras remained for 3 jumps. Having decided to try to repeat the technique, I was annoyed. The second time this trick was not hit. It was necessary to act faster. If there was no rollback, before with a double jerk, I would definitely get it. Deciding to leave genin for a snack for now, I looked at the rest of my opponents. To my surprise, they did not try to approach me, but on the contrary tried to stay away. It seems that after knocking out their main one, they were very surprised. Then I miraculously managed to get out of there. I was still able to catch the second genin when he was distracted and smacked his head between his legs with gusto. He probably won't be able to have children anymore. But what surprised me was not the victory over the suckers, but the second level that I received. After that, I tried not to get caught by geniuses anymore, but alas, I couldn't. I was caught and beaten several times. Last time I was very lucky, and I was convinced of this literally 3 days later when they came again, believing in their strength, and was bitterly disappointed when I woke up in the hospital with a concussion. In April of the new year, there was an open day of the academy. Unfortunately, I will be allowed there only in 2 years, when I turn 7, and before that I will have to somehow raise stats. In general, the previous year was very productive. I didn't discover any new skills, and I didn't really try. I just pumped the old ones. In April, my status window looked like this. Character, Naruto Uzumaki. Status, Dust Destroyer. Clean Girl. Desperate Housewife. The first idiot of the village. Loser of the year. The hero is Senin. A complete masochist. You idiot. A pain in the ass. The clown. Pyromaniac. The terrorist is an arsonist. Age, 5 years. Level, 2, 23%. Class, citizen. Health, 232/232. Chakra, 60, plus 60, /120. Power, 13 endurance, 23 intelligence, 6 dexterity, 18 wisdom, 3 unallocated points, 10 about the character. Thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive KI resistance skill. Skills: passive, KI resistance highest level 9, 100%, physical attack resistance level 8, 43.21%, fire element resistance level 4, 74.64%, water element resistance level 0, 0%, earth element resistance level 0, 0%, lightning element resistance level 0, 0%, wind resistance level 0, 0%, culinary arts level 7, 43.21%, intuition average level 4, 4.32%, hidden average level 6, 87.96%. Trade average level 7, 45.32%, rating highest level 3, 76.43%, washing top level 9, 100%, cleaning top level 9, 100%, evasion average level 6, 56.37%, pickpocket level 5, 13.12%, creating simple traps top level 4, 34.63%, active, roll average level 4, 56.36%. Cost, 0 chakra units, IC. Rollback time 0 necessary, an object to throw, jerk level 7, 34.78%. Cost, 20 EC, rollback time 10 seconds recognition of the highest level 6, 98.78%. Cost 10 EC. The rollback time is 5 seconds. When the key resistance developed to the maximum, a strange alert came, notification, the key resistance skill has reached the maximum level for this class. To continue developing the skill, you need to get a new class. These are the pies. It turns out I haven't even gotten close to anything all this time. It's a shame, by the way, to spend so much time and find out that everything is in vain. Although who said it would be easy.as for the level, I was also surprised and wanted to spend points, but changed my mind. And as for intelligence, how I raised it was another story. Because I couldn't read, I had to do arithmetic. For 2 weeks I solved the examples that I came up with myself. At first I wanted to explain and decided to solve simple ones, but there was no effect from them. If I went outside, I decided everything in my mind that I immediately burned all my notes on the stove, or rather, I drew everything first and only then burned it. Life turned out to be quite fun. By the beginning of my studies at the academy, I need to become stronger. After all, 2 weeks ago I saw Uchiha Sasuke and I really didn't like his stats. Character, Uchiha Sasuke, status, young genius, age, 5 years, level, 6 class, Uchiha student, hidden, rare, health, 333/333 chakra, 212/212 strength, 26 endurance, 31 intelligence, 21 dexterity, 25 wisdom, 9. Is that fair in your opinion? Some brat because he got fabulous stats in the clan, and what will happen when he enters the academy? I'm even afraid to imagine. But this is only a representative of one clan, although the strongest, but I don't think that the others will be much weaker. And how do you want to live? Okay, it's all lyrics. By the academy I have to become as pumped as possible, and I hope I will succeed. I apologize for the wait, the chapter is not checked. As soon as the beta sees it, I hope it will clean it. I tried to process the text, so it would be more pleasant to read. I don't know if it turned out. The first option almost melted my eyes. There are probably a lot of errors. Watching the bustling villagers was fun. Everyone tried to put their shop in order, because today is the final stage of the Chunin exam. A lot of guests will come, and suddenly someone will be lucky and they will buy something from him. Jumping off the fence, I slowly trudged towards Ichiraku. The residents who saw me shuddered and stepped aside to clear the way. Several genins from the land of water, seeing me, fussed and ran away. But almost a month and a half ago, they tried to provoke me, so they provoked me, and it was like this. Not knowing about the exam, I got up in the morning and went to Tucci for breakfast. The Konakovites scattered in different directions at the sight of me. It turned out to be fun with them too. For almost a year and a half that I spent here, the residents realized that it is more expensive to touch me. The poor villagers turned gray after a few of my pranks. The joke with the attack on the village was especially successful, although then I flew in. Our old, good Hokage scolded me a little, then threw a couple of parting words about the will of fire and how good it is to be a ninja. It all came down to the fact that everyone respects and loves Hokage. Well, in general, I hung noodles on the ears of a child. So Genins came to the exam, and they see how everyone shuns the child. We decided to find out what the problem is and scare the local celebrity. So they scared me so much that I had to stay in the hospital for a week. Hokage of course took out a reprimand and all that, even almost nailed them, but the matter was settled. And I decided to restore justice completely. And that's where the fun life of the Foggies began. Traps in the morning, burnt hanging things, paint instead of shampoo. But their nightly joke with ghosts finished them off. Then all three of them peed in their pants. From that time on, they were afraid to cross my path. By the way, our Hokage is still that character. Having decided to find out his level and stats, I received only questions. Yes, exactly the questions. Instead of a level, there was a question mark. After that, I tried to check everyone. And his mother showed almost half of the shinobi she met that way. That's when I really got scared. I couldn't pump stats anymore. The residents were more and more reluctant to run after me, and some ignored me altogether. The only ones who bothered me were the children, on whom my jokes acted like red on a bull. I was especially worried about the intelligence skill. It swung too slowly, but surprisingly, the chakra recovered quickly, despite the small wisdom indicator. In order to somehow compensate for the loss of masochistic training, I had to solve examples, a lot of examples. But even so, I have achieved little. And the skills did not appear, no matter how hard I tried, even the sewing skill. Although I regularly closed the gaps in my clothes. There were many problems, but almost no solutions. And the new roommate does not give rest, constantly climbs. And when I saw his status, I stopped paying attention to him at all. With him, it turned out the same as with the Hokage, everything is questionable. So trust people after that. Despite all this, life continued to flow. The question of money remained relevant, but thanks to Tucci's tent, I had accumulated quite good savings. But they all went to waste, after I had to buy new things. Now, it became clear to me why the canonical Naruto bought his jumpsuit. It was overgrown and sold at a big discount. The fabric was rough and badly torn. That's the whole secret of the orphan. But the color is yes, it will not change. There were several color options, but Naruto loved orange to the point of stupefaction. For me, in order not to attract attention, I had to take gray, although with my hair color and stripes on my cheeks it didn't help much. When he saw me, the old man ramen smiled, of course his favorite client. After eating my standard 7 servings, 2 of which are free, I went home to solve examples and problems. The time before entering the academy flowed quickly, but there were no changes. The training stopped completely. The intelligence also did not increase. Another year has passed and a new admission to the academy. Yesterday was an open day. Jumping out of bed, I made tea and reached for the cookies. After taking a sip, I heard a knock on the door. Is it really a new neighbor? The old one disappeared by the way, but after him the Hokage came to me often. Thank Kami, he brought something with him for tea, otherwise he would have ruined the orphan. Going to the door, I removed the bolt and opened it. Hokage was standing on the threshold, but today empty-handed. Hi, Naruto. His smile made my teeth sparkle. Hello, old man. There is no other way. he will still suspect something wrong, although I think he suspects, or maybe he knows that he is not welcomed. I came to tell you that today you have a preparatory class before entering the academy. So get ready, I'll walk you out, really. Finally. At least some kind of shift. After finishing my tea in one gulp, I put on sandals and jumped out into the street. We got to the academy quickly. Hokage took me to the director, took some papers out of his cloak and handed them to him. An old shinobi sitting on a chair ran his eyes over them and scribbled something on a piece of paper and handed it to Sarutobi. After we left the office, a masked shinobi jumped up to us and handed the package to the Hokage, and he all ready to me. It contained several blank sheets, ink, and a brush. And then we went to the classroom. As soon as we entered, by the way, without knocking, everyone jumped up and started bowing, and that's when I thought it would be nice to be a Hokage. By the way, the teacher was quite beautiful, although all the kunoichi I saw were like a selection. Long black hair, brown eyes, a good-natured face, and most importantly, she did not grimace at the sight of me. Deciding to take a look at her status, I mentally cursed, more questions. What is it? But the children were all orphans. Hello Hokage-sama, what brought you here? Don't be so formal, Atsuko-chan. I brought a new student, his name is Naruto Uzumaki, take care of him. As you tell Hokage-sama, congratulations, you have received a new class, Konoha student notification, the limit on the number of skills has been lifted. Due to the fact that you are an orphan, you had a limited number of skill slots. Now, having embarked on the path of shinobi, you have lost the restriction, because shinobi study all their lives. Here's a lie, there's no way to describe it without a mat. But thank Kami for something, mentally describing everything this world stands on. I woke up only when the compartment door slammed behind me. Well, Naruto-kun, are you ready to study? Of course Atsuko-sensei, that's good. Sit down in an empty seat. Sitting at the first desk, I got ready to study. It's quite interesting to get knowledge again, especially when all this is postponed in skills. Getting the skill of writing and reading was very much surprised. Now you have to learn everything to the ground. Not everything is as scary as it seemed at the beginning. Children from the orphanage and ordinary citizens lagged far behind me in development. Especially physically, according to the schedule today there are 4 subjects, reading, writing, history in the form of fairy tales, and finally physical education. And of course quests. More precisely, homework. Of course, there is little experience, but it is there, and finally, the most fun began in physical education. And all because, congratulations, you have started learning the taijutsu of list, taijutsu sheet level 1, 10.13%. Congratulations, the skill is a throw, improved and passed into passive skills. New title, Possession of Throwing Weapons. Anything in the hands of a shinobi can turn into a deadly weapon. Possession of Throwing Weapons level 1, 23.54%. Congratulations, Dexterity +1 congratulations, Strength +1 congratulations, Endurance +1. Just 2 hours of classes raised my stats. But then, I can start training quite legally. There will be no more unnecessary questions. Although there is still a question with reading, homework was standard for kids my age. Just learn the hieroglyphs that we were taught today, and in the morning of a new day, write everything down from memory. The next morning started with packing. There was a supply of ink and blank sheets waiting for me on the table. There was a book on the nightstand. When I opened it, I realized that it was a local primer. The schedule for today was the same, just physical education was moved to the 5th lesson and drawing was made the 4th. Although it was difficult to call it drawing. A man came in and we had to paint his portrait from memory. That's where the surprise was waiting for me. I didn't understand why give this to children. But thinking that nothing is superfluous in life, I began to draw. As you understand, the masterpieces of the children turned out to be even those. Although the acquisition of a new skill, though useless so far, I was glad. Physical education again bore fruit. Although I didn't raise the stats, but I learned new movements from Konoha style. I also pumped the throwing skill. After class, I waited until everyone left and approached the teacher. Naoki-sensei. Wait! My shout stopped the teacher at the exit of the training ground. He looked about 20 years old, short black hair, green prehensile eyes. By the way, the stats of this character are also on questions. It's even a shame somehow. Everyone who surrounds me is a monster. Is something wrong, Naruto-kun? He has a strange voice, it seems kind, but sometimes notes of indifference slip through, even goosebumps run down his back. You see, Naoki-sensei, I'm not good at throwing kunai and shurikens, but I want to become a Hokage. And in order to become them, you need to be able to do everything well. I'm listening to you. Do you want me to help you? Sorry Naruto-kun, but I'm very busy. No, I just don't have enough money to buy myself a personal kit. Could you give me something from the old and unnecessary academy? In my opinion, he was just waiting for this question. Having got a new set, I don't know where from. Here he has empty hands, but here is a brand new set of kunai and shurikens to keep, Naruto-kun, but don't wear them in the academy, otherwise the others will be very jealous. Good. Thank you Naoki-sensei. Nodding, teacher, I left the training ground. Sometimes it seems to me that I am not in the world of shinobi, but of magicians. How fast he was moving that I didn't even notice how he took out a bag of knives. Discarding unnecessary thoughts now, I headed to the distant training ground. Now I have the legal right to train until I'm blue in the face. Although it's still early, we need to consolidate what we were taught. The training was fruitful. Thanks to the game interface, it was possible not to worry too much about fatigue. A little rest and the body was ready for new actions. After spending the rest of the evening at the training ground, I headed home. After a quick dinner of custard ramen and satisfying my hunger, I fell asleep. It was very interesting to study. In half a year I was able to master writing and reading tolerably well. That's why I registered in the school library. After digging into the settings of the game interface, I was able to make changes to the status, and now, instead of percentages to a new level, the required number of experience was displayed. Speaking of levels, thanks to the daily quests, I was able to appnut the third. In addition, I was able to find a function for combining skills. Therefore, instead of cleaning, washing, sewing, and so on along the list, I was able to create the skill, household cares. Of course the name is not very good, but at that moment nothing else came to mind. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything else. And there wasn't much time. By the way, today is a significant day. Naoki-sensei decided to arrange fights. There will be 8 participants in total, including me. The teacher decided that the rest are not ready yet. And the 8th participant was chosen only because there would be an equal number of fights for everyone. So students, today we will hold the first fights for your training. There will be 8 participants in total. Everyone whose names I say must enter the circle. Sakai Ryoto, Hashimoto Takashi, Ishikawa Hideo, Uzumaki Naruto, Kondo Hiroshi, Nakagawa Shijo, Maruyama Yuichi and Iwasaki Yasuo. Everyone else can be a spectator. Coming forward, we stopped near the teacher. He quickly scribbled our names on the sheets, threw them into the bag. Mix them well. He took out 2 leaves. And remember, the prize of our fights will be 5,000 Ri. Hashimoto Takashi and Iwasaki Yasuo got ready to fight. The rest get out. 2 dark-haired men stopped opposite each other. After giving the start of the fight, Naoki-sensei jumped out of the circle. Despite the general tension, the children did not immediately attack each other. Realizing that this could not last forever, Takashi struck a few basic blows from the general style. Everyone's training was almost the same, so Yasuo was easily able to get away with basic blocks. In general, the Konoha style, or as it is also called the foliage style, is not very original. there are many types of attacks in it, but there is almost no protection. This style directly screams that the best defense is an attack. Dodging a kick to the head, Yasuo dived behind the opponent and knocked Takashi out with powerful blows to the head. The first winner is Iwasaki Yasuo. The second pair is Sakai Ryoto and Uzumaki Naruto. As soon as my name was pronounced, an icon popped up in front of me, notification, defeat all opponents and get a well-deserved reward, setting level D. Experience, 1000 points, reward, 5000 Re. There is no penalty for non-compliance. Wow! Just fine. Hehe, sorry guys, but you're not destined to win. While I was thinking about what is better to buy for as much as 5000, the teacher gave a start to the fight. And it's no surprise that I missed the first beat. Getting up from the ground and brushing myself off, I took the basic pose of the leaf style. The legs are slightly bent, the left is in front, the fists protrude forward, ready to attack and defend the body if necessary. My opponent, feeling confident of victory, made 2 quick movements with his hand to the head and 1 with his foot to the body. After putting hard blocks on the first 2 strikes, I grabbed the opponent's leg and hit his thigh several times. Having made a cut of Ryoto's supporting leg, I pressed his right hand with my foot, and his left hand. After marking a few blows to the throat and face, I stood up. The winner is Uzumaki Naruto. The next couple Ishikawa Hideo and Nakagawa Shijo. After leaving the circle, I closed my eyes. It was hard to resist habits. I almost used a jerk. It is necessary to abandon this for now. Although I am sure that Hokage knows about some of my secrets, but showing them openly would be a stupid decision. The winner is Nakagawa Shijo. The last couple come out. Kondo Hiroshi and Maruyama Yuichi. It turned out to be an interesting fight. Even though it lasted the longest. The guys were very resilient. Hiroshi fell like that 7 times in general, but he got up. But in general, as I expected, Yuichi won. He is the main contender for victory. If it wasn't for the game interface and long training sessions at the training ground, even I wouldn't have been able to beat him. The guy was a genius. Not like the clan ones, but I'm more than sure that if he had a decent teacher, not every genius from the clan would be able to cope with him. Yeah, whatever. It seems to me that soon it will disappear and fall either into the root, where they will make a car out of him without feelings and waste his talent in vain, or Hiruzen will notice him and will be able to raise him normally, but the mummy is too cunning. No matter how bad I feel about the Hokage, but he's not as bad as Shimura. We have completed the qualifiers. Rest for 30 minutes and let's move on to the semi-finals. Maruyama Yuichi and Naruto Uzumaki will start the fight first. Well, the main thing is not to yawn in battle with him, otherwise my money was crying. Having started the fight, the teacher disappeared from the circle again. Standing in a stance, I waited for the first blow. Yuichi slowly walked around me, rearranging his legs. In order not to let him behind me, I had to spin the same way, but already on the spot. Deciding that it was time, my opponent abruptly jumped forward with his right hand outstretched, preparing to dodge. I missed the moment when Yuichi abruptly changed his stance and pressed himself to the ground, knocked me down with a roll. Having tumbled several times on the ground, I abruptly stood up and spun to the side so as not to get under the feet of the enemy. Being sideways to Yuichi, I struck 2 quick blows, one in the neck and the other in the kidneys. Deciding not to miss the moment, I dived down and hooked Yuichi's legs. Grabbing his arm in pain, I waited for him to give up. I pull out his hand more and more. I finally heard the words, "I give up." After defeating Yuichi, the others didn't become a problem. After winning the final, I got the 4th level and the reward for the quest. Congratulations, you have completed the task. Experience, 1000 reward, 5000 Re. Throwing the reward into the inventory, I headed home. It was a hard day, there is no question of any training, because tomorrow they will start teaching us to feel the chakra, so I'll just rest. By the end of the day, my stats look like this. Character, Naruto Uzumaki. Status, Dust Destroyer. Clean Girl. Desperate Housewife. The First Idiot of the Village. Loser of the Year. The hero is Senin. A complete masochist. You idiot. A pain in the ass. The Clown. Pyromaniac. The terrorist is an arsonist, age, 6 years, level, for experience, 1230/4000 class, Konoha student health, 373/373 chakra, 230, plus 60/290 strength, 29 endurance, 37 intelligence, 23 dexterity, 30 wisdom, 5 unallocated points, 40 about the character. Thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive KI resistance skill. Skills, passive, KI resistance level 1, 13%. Konoha student, resistance to physical attacks level 8, 57.32%. Citizen, fire element resistance level 4, 74.64%. Citizen, water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. The art of cooking level 1, 0%. Konoha student, intuition average level 4, 4.32%. Citizen, the highest level is hidden 8, 93.96%. Citizen, trade average level 7, 45.32%. Citizen, assessment highest level 3, 76.43%. Citizen, domestic problems level 1, 0%. Konoha student, evasion highest level 6, 32.21%. Citizen, pickpocket level 5, 13.12%. Citizen, creating simple traps top level 8, 12.89%. Citizen, language intermediate level 5, 17.76%. Konoha student, writing average level 3, 76.64%. Konoha student, possession of throwing weapons level 7, 23.54%. Konoha student, sheet taijutsu level 1, 32.12%. Konoha student, drawing level 3, 0.76%. Konoha student, active, jerk level 7, 34.78%. Cost, 20 EC, rollback time 10 seconds, citizen, recognition highest level 6, 98.78%. Cost 10 hours. The rollback time is 5 seconds. Citizen, the morning began, as always, with a morning exercise and breakfast, which included custard ramen. After getting dressed quickly, I headed to the academy. There were no homework assignments for today, the teachers advised to have a good rest. In the morning at Konoha was bustling with life, people quickly opened shops, realizing that some shinobi get up very early. Kanakovtsi at the sight of me, began to whisper and spread out on the sides. I was more than happy with it, no matter how much I hated them, now while I'm weak, such treatment is better. After a quick walk to the academy, I went into the classroom and sat down in my seat. The children slowly filled the auditorium, taking their seats. When the last one took his place, Atsuko-sensei appeared in the doorway, passing behind the teacher's desk. She slowly looked around the classroom and nodded to herself, sighed heavily. Good morning, children. Today, as you were told, you will begin to study the chakra section. The basic theory will be told to you in the next year of study. At the moment, you need to feel the strength in yourself, so as not to lag far behind the clan ones. Let's go to the inner training ground of the academy. Getting up, the teacher left the office, the audience emptied pretty quickly. And 10 minutes later, we were sitting at the training ground. Atsuko-sensei slowly walked around us, correcting the lotus position on which everyone sat down. It will be difficult for you to feel the chakra inside yourself, but you should try. Close your eyes and relax your body. It's okay if it doesn't work out the first time. I'll tell you a secret, not every genius will be able to feel the chakra on the first try. Imagine that you can look inside your body, feel the invisible channels that fill it, feel the power that runs through these channels. Repeating everything the teacher said, I tried to look inside myself. But no sooner had I seen the chakra circulation system than, congratulations, you have discovered the skill, meditative leaf technique. For many years, the shinobi of the land of fire have been honing their sense of chakra, developing skills to better feel it. Train this skill, and when you upgrade it to the middle rank, you can use it without sitting in the lotus position. Meditative leaf technique level 1, 0%. Konoha's disciple, Naruto, is something wrong? Atsuko-sensei stood on the opposite side of me, and looked worried. It's all right, sensei, I think I did it. She widened her eyes in surprise, but quickly regained her composure. Try again and make sure you understand everything correctly. Taking a long-standing pose, I plunged into myself and saw what I didn't have time to when the alert came. I see, sensei. That's how. Try to walk through the thick channels to the navel level, and tell me what you'll see. I don't know how to describe it exactly. The blue ball to which 3 threads go and fill it with energy, and already from the ball energy flows through channels. So, are you sure that there are 3 threads to the ball? That's right, sensei. Well, you go on, and you, Naruto, try to take energy from the ball in small portions and direct it through large channels. Only remember this in large ones. And I need to move away for a while, listening to mission reports. What could be more boring, especially when this time can be spent sleeping? The third Hokage, for the second hour, listened to the report on the tasks of the genins. What a pity, almost all the children of this stream are weak and can't do anything more difficult than missions from the rank yet. The current shinobi have slipped too much. In my time, even as children, it was possible to claim the rank of Jonin. And now there is a maximum of 1 normal in strength Jonin, and a bunch of Tokubetsu, which are no better than meat for war. Sighing heavily, the third Hokage tightened the receiver. Having decided to sleep with my eyes open, the message came from where they did not expect. Atsuko has important news. Izao-san, I have urgent business, please leave the office. Quickly straightening up, not a young shinobi, said goodbye and jumped out the door. The preparation of the ANBU is immediately visible. It's a pity that not everyone is like that. The new guest did not give a chance to reflect on the weaknesses of the current generation. Come on, Atsuko-chan, sit down. What's the news, Hokage-sama? As you asked, an accelerated program was chosen for the vessel class, and today they began to study meditation techniques. And what happened? Naruto Uzumaki, also known as Jinchuriki, was able to master this material in the first minutes, and was able to see his SCC. According to Uzumaki himself, there were 3 threads going to his core. That's how. Well, Atsuko-chan can be freed. I was just worried for nothing. The fact that the fox chakra is mixed with Naruto's chakra is already known. The main thing is that it would not go further than Atsuko-chan. Nightingale, look after Atsuko-chan, and that after Jinchuriki's training, the memory of today was slightly corrected. Yes, Hokage-sama. Today is just a beautiful day. After Atsuko-sensei left, a couple of pleasant things happened for me. Congratulations, you have discovered the skill, the simplest manipulation of the chakra. Thanks to hard work, you can drive the chakra through the chakra canals. Remember, the skill level is very small, so you should not experiment with thin channels. The simplest manipulation of the chakra level 1, 0%. Konoha's student, congratulations, you have discovered the skill. Chakra control. Shinobi are very scrupulous about their chakra reserves, and to reduce its consumption, they strengthened control over it. Chakra control level 1, 0%. Konoha's student, so what am I talking about? Today is just a great day. And Atsuko-sensei, who came and gave a lecture on how to improve control over the chakra, lifted me to heaven. Returning home was akin to the end of a happy day, but not wanting to waste time on rest, I rushed to a distant training ground, not forgetting my kunai and shurikens, time again drowned in studies. By the end of the half-year, only Yuichi could feel the chakra, who also began to train hard, but before the March holidays he disappeared. Atsuko-sensei said that he was adopted and left with a new family. But her gaze then looked anywhere but at us. It was not worth having 7 spans in the forehead to understand where he had disappeared. I'm sure we'll meet him again, but no one can say whether it will still be that Yuichi. When the holidays started, I was finally able to fully devote myself to training. The strangest thing is that I didn't get titles anymore, no matter what I did. My schedule has changed a lot: in the morning breakfast, workout, lunch, workout, dinner, sleep. I was like a drug addict trying to raise stats. The most interesting thing is that I was careful to use the points from the levels. Although sometimes, my hands itched. By the way, with wisdom, it is also very difficult. I was able to raise it by 2 points in half a year, reading philosophical tedium, and not just reading, but using a dictionary. It was a shame to look into the dictionary 10, 15 times on each page. And raise wisdom by 2 points. But it was interesting not that, but the fact that the regen of the chakra did not increase. It follows that wisdom is responsible for something else. It would be better to understand what else. That we rested for exactly 11 days, and on the 6th of April we went back to the academy, or rather, full shinobi training. The rest ended before it really started, and a new day at the academy brought a lot of surprises, and such that you want to swear. I'll explain why. This is what my window looked like after a year of study. Character: Naruto Uzumaki. Status: Dust Destroyer. Clean girl. Desperate housewife. The first idiot of the village. Loser of the year. The hero is Senin. A complete masochist. You idiot. A pain in the ass. The clown. Pyromaniac. The terrorist is an arsonist. Age: 6 years, level 7, experience 9340/11000, class Konoha, student, health 404/404, chakra 300 plus 60/360, strength 34, endurance 40, intelligence 30, dexterity 36, wisdom 7, unallocated points 70. About the character: thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive KI resistance skill. Skills: passive, KI resistance, average level 4, 16.83%. Konoha student, resistance to physical attacks level 8, 57.32%. Citizen, fire element resistance level 4, 74.64%. Citizen, water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. The art of cooking level 2, 3.13%. Konoha student, intuition top level 1, 43.38%. Citizen, the highest level is hidden 8, 93.96%. Citizen, trade average level 7, 45.32%. Citizen, assessment highest level 3, 76.43%. Citizen, domestic problems level 4, 13.13%. Konoha student, evasion level 2, 14.21%. Konoha student, pickpocket level 5, 13.12%. Citizen, creating simple traps top level 8, 12.89%. Citizen, language intermediate level 9, 65.99%. Konoha student, writing average level 7, 88.6%. Konoha student, sheet taijutsu level 8, 76.58%. Konoha student, possession of throwing weapons average level 4, 9.97%. Konoha student, meditative leaf technique intermediate level 3, 56.12%. Konoha student, the simplest manipulation of the chakra level 9, 12.16%. Konoha student, chakra control level 7, 32.1%. Konoha student, drawing level 6, 54.17%. Konoha student, active, jerk average level 1, 13.74%. Cost, 20 EC, rollback time 9 seconds, citizen, recognition level 1, 28.13%. Cost 8 hours. The rollback time is 3 seconds. Konoha's disciple, not bad, isn't it? For someone who did everything on their own. And this is what Uchiha looked like when I came to the open house. Character, Uchiha Sasuke, status, young genius, age, 6 years, level, 15 class, Uchiha student, hidden rare, Konoha student, health, 424/424 chakra, 323/323 strength, 56 endurance, 42 intelligence, 32 dexterity, 47 wisdom, 9 how? Just how? If not for the unallocated points, I wouldn't even beat him, but it's a cheat ability. But damn insulting. Although, I almost caught up with him. But just what the fuck was he pulling to develop his strength like that? Well, figs with everyone, thank Kami, the rest of the clan are not so developed, but his mother Shikamaru, this is something with something. Character, Shikamaru Nara status, mega brain, age, 6 years level, 10 class, student of Nara, hidden, rare, student of Konoha health, 303 of 303 chakra, 230/230 strength, 28 endurance, 30 intelligence, 300 dexterity, 31 wisdom, 60 it's just not to describe, but having an intelligence under 300 to have such a small reserve of chakra, it's interesting, and if you use the recognition skill, mistake, insufficient data, the skill is poorly developed so until I level up, I won't see information like my ears. Well, Shikamaru, you have aroused my interest, in a couple of weeks, or maybe months, I will unearth your secret, I hope there are few mistakes. Heavy sigh, sadness, longing. The day has just begun, and the Hokage's speech is really not something I would listen to. An alienated territory was formed around me, which no one entered. When civilians saw me, they quickly began to move aside, and the clan simply ignored me. The Hokage's speech dragged on for about 2 hours, after which we were sent to the classrooms. I was the first to come, which is not strange. When the civilians saw me coming in, they ran around and crushed even the clan ones. Taking a seat in the last row by the window, I wearily plopped my forehead on the wooden table. Despite studying, and new knowledge with skills, my head was tormented by vague thoughts. In the original, Naruto was fucked up and studied poorly, and he probably didn't even know about homework. And I don't want to lose precious experience at all, and I'm already lagging behind. And for 5 years it is not advisable to lose a daily quest at all. I can earn a lot of points. So even if the team is not the same as in the canon, I won't be too upset. Having decided for myself the further plan of action, I raised my head. While I was thinking, 4 people managed to enter the class, already 5. Well, who do we have here? Well, pink hair is not to be confused with anything, one of the main characters, and next to her is a short-haired blonde. I remember Ino was the same as a child. There were 2 other girls hanging around next to them, I don't know, they weren't in the canon, one was a brunette, the second was a brown-haired woman. Well, the 5th guy with tattoos on his cheeks is, of course, Kiba. The door opened and Nara, soaring in the clouds and a chubby boy chewing chips, most likely Chuji, entered the audience. Both of them went up to the back rows and sat down not far from me. It seems that everything is still according to the canon. Then a few civilians entered, followed by Uchiha, who sat in the second row by the window. No matter how much I looked, I didn't see those with whom I studied last year. But a few minutes later Hinata Hyuga came in, according to the original, my future wife, but I don't know how the circumstances will turn out yet. In a few minutes the auditorium was filled. Having sat down in the vacant seats, the children were waiting for the teacher. Around me, as always, a corner of emptiness formed. Everyone at least once, but looked in my direction. Uchiha only twisted his face at this. With a grunt, I buried my forehead in the table again and slowly sank into a doze. I was woken up by a blow to the head. You should not sleep right away at the first lesson. Judging by Irik's scar, what right does he have to beat me? I was too late myself. If you deigned to come on time, I wouldn't have to sleep. And if you hit me again, I will turn your life at the academy into hell. I said the last words with a grin. It makes it easier to unbalance a person, and yes, I hope that he will hit me. Still, some skills should be brought to the end. As I thought, he gritted his teeth and turned around and left. Well, I know that your family was crushed by a fox, but that's what I have to do with it. And with my reputation, you did the right thing by leaving. So kids, you can be proud of yourself. Thanks to your abilities, you have a chance to become a ninja, the best warriors in the world. Every shinobi has to train a lot to defend his village. As Irika spoke, I began to fall asleep. I was awakened by the sound of palms hitting the table. Naruto Uzumaki, you should listen to me better to become a good shinobi. Eck, how he was skewed. Don't think I don't want to quarrel with him, but recently I had to train a lot and reduce sleep. I even forgot to have lunch sometimes, and here is such a case. Of course I apologize sensei, but to hear the eulogized speeches about shinobi is beyond my strength, and I'm sure that such speeches will not make me stronger. By the way, it's strange why he only gets to me. There's Nara, too, sleeping, notification, for a reasonable interpretation of your thoughts +1 to intelligence. Oh, that's the thing I love. Is it that if I start a dispute for each of my actions and give a reasonable interpretation, I will get stat points? It's a pity that the idea is almost impossible. Only the Hokage can argue with me, the rest are afraid to even just talk. While I was thinking about the idea of increasing stats by stealing, and then a logical explanation for it, Irika returned to his seat. Okay kids, let's finish this and introduce ourselves to each other. You already know me, let's start from the front rows. Who would doubt that everything will start with dating? There are only 16 people in the audience, half of whom are the main characters. More precisely, most of it. Sakura came out first, sitting in the front row with Ino. She was dressed in red bloomers shorts, a thigh-high t-shirt tied at the waist with a black bandage, probably a belt like that. I don't understand women's clothing. There is a red bow on his head. Hello, my name is Sakura Haruno, I am 6 years old, my dream is to become the strongest kunoichi. I wonder when she changed her dream? It seems to be normal in the beginning. It's clear why Naruto liked her. Cute, of course it's still hard to say, but in the future she will become a beauty, although, as I said, it's almost impossible to meet ugly kunoichi. Bowing, the girl sat down. The second, which is logical, came out Ino. I wonder why they started letting their hair go, because now they have quite short hair. No, I guess, but it's still very interesting how it all started. By the way, she was wearing knee socks or socks. Again, I don't know anything about it. I can say they were thigh-high and black. A light red t-shirt and over it a white t-shirt and black short shorts, very short. Hello, my name is Ino Yamanaka, 6 years old. I dreamed that my clan would become the strongest. Well, that's a normal dream. Why would she need Sasuke? Although it is logical, if she becomes the wife of Uchi, there will be an alliance of clans, which will strengthen her clan. Interestingly, a clan of brainwashers, and a clan with eyes, which also have prerequisites for brainwash, and what will happen if they are combined? Maybe conduct an experiment? Let S grab Sasuke and Ino, of course, after they grow up, and then force them to. No, my thoughts have gone to the wrong place. When she finished, the girl returned to her seat. The third one came out, a blue-haired girl with gray eyes and a hat on her head. Shoulder-length hair. She was dressed in a gray t-shirt, with a yellow smiley face, up to her hips. The same as the Ino black knee socks, but just above the knees and short tight shorts. Hello, my name is Aoi Suzuki, I am 6 years old, my favorite color is blue. Who would doubt it? A dream to become a Hokage. That's the times, that's my phrase. I don't want to repeat after anyone. She set me up cool. They will also say I stole a dream, they are such children, in short, children. Here. A new acquaintance and again a girl, black hair gathered in a ponytail, black pants, a pink t-shirt to the hips and tightly tied at the waist with a black bandage. Hello, my name is Hayashi Asuka, I am 7 years old, my dream is to become a copper worker and help people. Oh, finally a guy came out, plasters on his cheeks, a light orange cap, black short hair under it, a green t-shirt and black pants. Hello, my name is Atsushi Fukuda, I am 7 years old, my dream is to become the strongest ninja in the world. Relax, man, every second person dreams about it here, and I've already booked this place for a long time. The next guy came out, trimmed under the lawn, I can't describe him in any other way. Short hair on the sides and looking up at the top of the head. He was dressed in a gray t-shirt and black breeches with pockets in the knee area. He wore wristbands on his hands. Hello, my name is Jiro Maruyama, I am 7 years old, my dream is to earn a lot of money and complete difficult missions. And what a glint in his eyes, probably spiritually listened to the Hokage's speech. The first stream has ended, now the second row. Sasuke came out first. He is dressed in a dark blue t-shirt with a high collar with the Uchiha emblem and white shorts. Black wristbands on his hands. Hello, my name is Uchiha Sasuke, my dream is to surpass one person. The second was a girl with shoulder-length black hair, a green hoodie and white shorts. His legs were wrapped in bandages up to his knees. Hello, my name is Minori Komatsu, I am 6 years old, my dream is to become the strongest kunoichi. Well, as I said, almost everyone has the same dream, and I don't see anything surprising here. It was Hinata's turn. She was dressed as in the canon, a beige hoodie with black pants. The right leg in the thigh area is wrapped in bandages. Hello, my name is Hinata Hyuga, I'm 6 years old. I want to become as strong as dad and as beautiful as mom was. I completely forgot, since Hinata is 6, then most likely she has a sister, and her mother died. I feel sorry for the girl, but who will sympathize with me, the one who has a solid survival in general. Next came Shino, a standard set in the form of a hoodie with a huge collar and black pants tied with bandages at the bottom. Hello, my name is Shino from the Aburame clan, my dream is to become a worthy head for him. That's the style, that's the rhymes. Well, okay, I don't care. The new girl is brown-haired with shoulder-length hair in an orange t-shirt and black shorts. Hello, my name is Suzu Shimada, I am 6 years old, my dream is to become the best copper miner and save many lives. The next girl came out again, she had dark green hair gathered in a ponytail. She was dressed in a black t-shirt with a green hoodie on top of it, there was a pink garter at the waist, and if the previous ones had it tied at the back, then she had it in front. On his legs were black pants that narrowed at the level of the calf muscle. Hello, my name is Noriko Miramoto, I am 7 years old, my dream is to become the same hero as the 4th Hokage, and this is already interesting, to become a hero, something new in these most powerful and Hokage. Finally it was my turn. But for obvious reasons, I did not get up, or rather for reasons that I understood. I just would like to finish, and not steal someone's dream, otherwise the children. I think I've already said that. Everyone turned their heads in my direction, and what did I do? Am I okay? I just put my head on my hands and I can say I was sprawled on the table. Realizing that I would not come out, Nara came to the blackboard, with a face, "Why do I need all this?" Our genius was dressed in a mesh t-shirt and a gray vest over it. On his feet were black pants. Hello. Such boredom in the voice, even I can't do it. My name is Shikamaru Nara, 6 years old. My dream is to stay single and look at the clouds, and then sleep, and then the clouds and sleep again, and sweat. We understood, Shikamaru-kun, you can sit down. That's right, there are definitely differences on the face. The next one was a chubby Chuji with chips in his hands. Like as I remember, calling him fat is dangerous for life, and not only his own, but also those around him. When I learn henge, I will definitely turn into Sasuke. I will say that he is fat, and then I will set him on Uchiha. Yes, it's a good idea. Akamichi was dressed in a beige t-shirt with a red hieroglyph, a green vest over it, a white scarf around his neck. Brown breeches on his feet. His legs and arms were also in bandages. Hello, my name is Chuji Akimichi, I am 6 years old, my dream is to find a wife who cooks deliciously. Yeah, that's exactly what I didn't expect. Poor boy, in what conditions does he live? Finally, the penultimate Kiba. He was dressed in gray pants and a green t-shirt with a picture of a dog. Hello, my name is Kiba Inazuka, I am 6 years old, my dream is to get a ninken as soon as possible, and finally, your humble servant. Deliberately slowly getting up, I went to the blackboard. Hello, and remember, my name is not called, I come myself. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. There is no dream, but there are a lot of goals, and if you don't want to become one of them, avoid me. Smiling sweetly, I went to my place. Well, we've met. Everyone is free for today. Tomorrow, bring clean sheets and ink with a brush. And don't forget to read the first chapter in the history of Konoha. There will be a test tomorrow. After waiting for everyone to come out, I headed home. Well, it's been a day, but I wasted my time. I have to go train. The new morning greeted me angry and not getting enough sleep. And what would you like if I spent half the night in meditation? But despite all the disadvantages, it was worth it. The control has reached almost the middle rank. And Leaf's meditative technique has become the middle 4th level. But how I want to sleep. I didn't remember the way to the academy. Like the first 2 classes. By the way, I got experience points for the completed quest in the story. The 3rd lesson flew by just as unnoticed. We were taught mathematics and geometry. But on the 4th, I came to my senses. Our teacher was the famous Canon Mizuki. After waiting for everyone to gather, he gave the command to line up and began the introductory instructions. Remember, children, you can't throw weapons, even as a joke, at classmates. You shouldn't play with explosive seals. It's better not to touch them at all until we come to the necessary training ground for this. In the first lesson, I have to test your skills for now. And to make you remember the experience better, non-clan ones will be paired with clan ones. Let's get started. The first pair. After scrolling through the names magazine, Mizuki began to study the names. Ino Yamanaka vs Haruno Sakura. Such an epic battle, I will never forget. I knew that the Yamanaka clan is not fighting, but to play a draw, I am disappointed. Atsushi Fukuda's second fight against Uchiha Sasuke. And here it became more interesting, and I was greatly lowered. A quick approach is a powerful blow from a U-turn and the enemy did not even have time to do anything. But the admiring squeak and screams about the coolness of the Uchiha almost deafened me. Just one fight, and he's already being praised. The third fight. Jiro Maruyama vs Shino Aburame. Although the Aburame clan is not fighting, but he dealt with the non-clan one, and quite technically, with the help of hooking and finishing off the body, and so the fourth battle. Nara Shikamaru vs Chuji Akimichi. How painful. Who would doubt, who would say that? The fight was quite fun. At first, Chuji resisted and said that he would not beat his friend. Then Nara finally persuaded him, but after a few blows, Shikamaru raised his hand and gave up. The fifth fight. Naruto Uzumaki and Inuzuka Kiba. Notification, task, defeat your opponent and gain experience for the fight. The more opponents you defeat, the stronger you become. Rank E. Experience, 500 reward, none, penalty, bullying attitude from children. I silently walked into the circle, and a dog walker rushed by like a whirlwind. Standing in a stance, I began to wait for the attack, would have attacked myself, but unfortunately I did not see the Inuzuka style, and I do not know what their movements are. And I took a Kiba, a rather funny stance. Slightly bent forward into a half-sitting position, the arms are simply lowered and relaxed. It is difficult to calculate his actions. The attack was lightning fast. That's what clan training means, in my opinion. Something crunched in my hand. Although I managed to block, but the blow pushed me away decently. It is dangerous to be exposed to a blow, it is necessary to evade. Taking a stand, I began to act. When I saw Kiba rushing towards me, I waited until he approached and struck a powerful blow to the face. So it seemed to me, my hand was in the grip of a dog lover. Pulling me to him, he gave me a powerful knee to the stomach. Damn, I'm going to lose this way. There is no way to lose experience. If I also had a normal style, or at least complete basic training, then it would still be possible to fight, and so. Down with pessimistic thoughts, I will definitely be able to win. Standing up, holding my stomach, I took a stand grunting. Inuzuka jerked again, but now, instead of the usual blow, I hooked his legs, not expecting this. Inuzuka collected dirt with his face. While the dogman was getting up, his stomach let go a little. Growling and quickly getting to his feet, Kiba ran at me again. The same technique failed again. As I expected, Inuzuka jumped up, and immediately received a kick on the body. The force of gravity and my blow lowered the dogman to the ground. After checking if he was all right, Sensei announced me to the winners. The rest of the fights were routine, only Hinata still showed a few blows from the Hyuga style. Sometimes I get hurt. Especially watching the growth of clan stats. I stopped again, only endurance and sometimes strength are swinging. For dexterity, I decided to do a little gymnastics, but alas, it did not help. I also decided to use something like weights, but I'm not really an idiot to disrupt the growth of a child's body. I wouldn't want to deform the bones. All that remained was to study perfectly and do chakra control. Physical education classes began to bring results the very next day. A few new racks and kata just sent me into ecstasy. And well-chosen training at the academy sometimes raised my stats that I didn't want to leave everything like that, so I started building simple traps. Each of them, when cutting the rope, would have to throw stones. That day, not only dexterity, but also the skill of throwing and dodging rose. Speaking of evasion, due to the fact that he developed well, the body sometimes walked away from blows and stones on its own reflexes. The days were again drowned in study. Uchiha and Inuzuka's stats have been raised. Fortunately I haven't had to meet them in battle yet. Every day brought new knowledge. Having completely drowned in my studies, I did not notice how the summer holidays began. 4 months flew by without noticeably. And now I was waiting for a month of hard training. It is impossible to lag far behind. If there were dungeons here, I would quickly gain experience in fighting, but what is not there is not. The summer passed incredibly quickly, the training completely captured me and did not let go. Unfortunately, they were not very fruitful, since the number of unallocated points is still quite a lot, which breaks the gap between me and the clan. As summer began, so it ended. Studying was supposed to be pretty boring. Fortunately for me, everyone's stats haven't changed much. It seems like it's like a threshold for children's bodies. And now it remains to raise skills, which is also not bad. That I was sitting on the swing of the academy, and watched my classmates being taken home. By the way, Ino and Sakura, the hair started to let go. And I witnessed how it all started. That it happened in the fall, a week before my birthday. Uchiha went shopping with his mother, and during the conversation he did not notice how he confessed that he loved his mother's long hair. To his regret, the girls realized that he likes long hair. Where did the mother go at the same time? I don't even guess, but now almost all the girls at the academy go with long hair. I almost died laughing then. Uchiha has become a local star and now he has his own fan club. No, I'm not jealous. Although who am I kidding, I envy in black. He gets so much food for free. If I had been given so much, I wouldn't have had to spend money at all. Well, what is not, skills also swayed, and when the control passed the 5th level, the cost of chakra skills decreased. Spring break has started now. 2 weeks of rest and back to school. And I will have to sit down in the library. Most likely we will start learning seals, and the clan probably already know them. It will be a pity to waste time on this later. Finally, the academy was empty. Before the Uchiha came out, I saw the look of a black-haired woman. Now I remember, it was she who came when I got to the hospital, and most likely Fugaku was fighting with Hokage and Danzo. It's a pity to lose them, but a lot is possible in this world, and with the game interface, you can do a lot. The main thing is to use it correctly. The main thing is to understand how the system works. Although a lot of things are already clear to me, but most likely it seems so to me. But what I learned is not a little. For example, the technique that was described in manga and anime. Let's take the same Rasengan. If I don't have a mentor, then I will have to study it for a long time. After all, even if I know what the stages are for, the system itself believes that only a mentor or a scroll can help me in studying. That's the way things are. Study, vacation, study. This went on for 2 years. 2 years of incessant training. During all this time, I have been able to achieve a lot. In the 2nd year of study, as I expected, we were taught seals, and in the 3rd hung. Needless to say, when I listened to the explanations, I performed the technique immediately. Irika was in shock, however, as was Hokage, who came to me after. According to estimates, I was the first, which infuriated Uchiha. Although I did not have a fan club and everyone looks at me with contempt, several teachers appeared who recognized me. The first, oddly enough, was Irika. He was constantly trying to help me. I even felt uneasy. I'm used to being alone and surviving all the time, and when someone interferes with your personal space after that, it becomes uncomfortable. The librarian almost sees me as a grandson. After all, I take not only material on studies, but also some books on other sciences to raise intelligence and wisdom. There were even a few arguments with him, where in a couple of hours, I did not pump my intellect badly. We played shogi a few times. I couldn't beat him once. No, I beat him once, but then he succumbed. Only then did my intelligence get 3 points at once. I was so impressed that I spent a lot of time playing with this person. That's how my studies ended in the 3rd year. There were 2 more years of study left. On the 4th, it seems, the Uchi clan should be cut out. Actions have already begun to flow in this direction. Several times, I tried to get into the subconscious, but it didn't work. And I was afraid to read anything on this topic. Even the Hokage will start digging. I don't need such happiness. 2 weeks off and back to school. Weekend is certainly a big word. There will be training, as always. My 10th birthday. It passed casually. The Konokovites did not climb to me, I went to them. Just a month ago, the Uchiha clan was still cut out. As in the canon, Itachi did it. leaving deep scars in his brother's soul. It must have been hard to do it, although with such strength as his, would have tried to overwhelm Hokage and Danzo. But what to do if he wanted to do with a little blood, which in the future will be paid in threefold? If the Uchiha clan had been alive during the attack of Pain and the Fourth World War, it would have become much easier for everyone. Just 2 or 3 Mangekyo Sharingan owners, and many problems would have been solved. But politicians think only for a year, at most 2 in advance. After all, with the Uchiha clan, Sand and Sound would not even think of attacking. No matter how strong Orochimaru was, Fugaku would crush him. After all, Sharingan is also a cheat ability. And the head of the clan, even without MSH, knew many of his secrets, but these are matters of politics. While studying, we began to study Kawarimi, and again I performed it the first time. He eats a little chakra. At least for me. The 4th year has become the beginning of the events of the future. A lot of interesting things happened. Most of them were connected with the academy. I was especially pleased when an old librarian found me scrolls with sheet kata techniques, and showed me some of them there. He also promised that if I learned them, he would show others. But what happened next shocked me to the core. Congratulations, you have found a hidden class, librarian student, hidden, rare. Despite his advanced age, judging by his movements, the old librarian was once a strong warrior. Learn his wisdom and you will become a strong shinobi. My life took a sharp turn after that. As soon as I asked him something, I received a fairly detailed answer or even received a demonstration. I didn't know how strong the librarian was, who didn't give his name, but he could probably give odds to many juniors. He didn't teach me super techniques and certainly didn't show them, but he taught me how to find traps correctly, and just because he was telling it, the skill was swinging. How to deceive people, how to change facial expressions and movements, how to hide from persecution, how to correctly apply this or that technique. And after the basic style was rocked as much as possible, the librarian showed me his improved version, or rather what he himself supplemented in it. Congratulations, skill, Leaf Taijutsu, evolved to improved Leaf Taijutsu version of the old librarian. After that, the training started. The old librarian rarely left his abode, but the correct training plan was described to me by him on a sheet. Every day in the morning I had to follow it. So time flew by until it happened. That day, I finished the week-long training that the teacher described. Yes, that's the only way now. After going to the academic library, I saw Hokage, who was talking about something with Anbu. Seeing me, the Hokage ended the conversation with the masked shinobi and came up to me. Naruto-kun, you're not on time, but I'm glad you came. What happened to Hokage-sama? Don't be so formal. Naruto, last night a spy from an enemy village sneaked into the library. We don't know yet which one. He was looking for a scroll with equipment that was kept by your teacher. The spy couldn't get the scroll and was killed by your teacher, but unfortunately he also received a fatal wound. I'm very sorry. That's how. A spy? How is that possible? What could the old shinobi have kept? This is the last thing left, he asked me to tell you. Hokage handed me an envelope, and turned around and walked up to Anbu. When I left the library, I felt tears running down my cheeks. I wonder why. I couldn't get attached to him, could I? Isn't that right? Hokage watched as the wheat-haired boy disappeared through the door. It turned out too dirty. But Danzo made it clear that either he removes the old man himself, or the root will take up the matter. The Hokage had no choice. And everything happened at night. Hokage personally came to the old librarian. He was just sitting at his desk and sipping sake. Sensing an outsider, he smiled. Come on Hokage-sama, sit down. Will you drink? The old man raised an eyebrow questioningly. Yes, pour it. Hokage silently sat down on a chair. Has the time really come? It took you a long time to decide. You knew how it would end and still got close to him, and even attached it. You know, there wasn't much good in my life, I didn't understand how it turned out. Doesn't he look like his father? The same genius. Are you not afraid that sooner or later he will come for your head? If the prosperity of the village demands it, I myself will present my head to him on a platter. Hokage can't act relying on feelings. Yes, that's why many people fled from this place. As it is interesting, only his father remained the same, even putting the burden of power on his head. Overturning the bowl, the old librarian sank wearily into a chair. Will you give him the letter? There is nothing special there, just the finishing touches that he lacks, and then he will be able to create his own style. Hokage silently accepted the envelope and stood up. I'm sorry about what happened, Akeo-san. The katana that appeared in the hands of the Hokage pierced the heart of the old librarian. Me too, Hokage-san, indeed, he was a good shinobi. I hope his help from Jinchuriki will help the boy to become stronger, because difficult trials are waiting for him. The funeral was modest, except for me and a couple of shinobi with Hokage, there was no one. The scroll contains the finishing touches and a description of the developing complexes for 6 years ahead. And every day they got more complicated. Spring break has started again for 2 more weeks of rest. It feels like it all starts from here. Continuous training has done its job. In taijutsu, I have equaled the clan. I don't know what kind of style it is, but it is amazing. Sometimes it feels like I'm starting to create new kata myself during the fight, but they were all described by the old man. In addition to all that happened, there was one case that, to be honest, I put out of my head. I was returning to the training ground when I heard a funny conversation. Apologize. Do you think if it's clan, then everything is possible? I'm sorry, please, I'm sorry. Is that how they apologize? Get on your knees. After these words, I heard a blow and a fall. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Deciding that it wouldn't go that way, I resolutely broke through the bushes. In a small clearing, there were 3 children who mocked little Hyuga. I was not going to disgrace myself as in the original. We studied illusory cloning, but alas, it did not give in to me in any way. The system was showing an action error, so I just spat on it. Coming out and taking a pretentious pose, or rather leaning against a tree, I got ready to play it. How boring, a crowd of weaklings surrounded a little girl. Maybe you will find an opponent within your strength, and who else are you? A gang of petty robbers turned around and saw, in my opinion, me, who was beautiful. You're the demon everyone's afraid of. If we beat you, then we will definitely have nothing, and for we can get Hyuga. You're out of luck. The fat man came up to me and loomed over me. You're the unlucky one. I pushed off from the tree. I don't want to waste the teacher's skills on garbage. Behold the strongest technique of the Leaf Village. The hands began to quickly fold the seal in a chaotic manner, but I did not pour the chakras into them. Leg egg, leg egg, leg egg. A few savory blows forced the fat man to fall to the ground and hold on to between the legs. Yeah, right there. The others, seeing the injustice, rushed at me. Having missed the blow of the first, I grabbed his hand and put his head under the blow of the second. Unwinding the load in my hand, I threw it towards my partner. Rolling head over heels, both boys jumped up abruptly and gave a run. Hinata-chan, you shouldn't walk alone in such dangerous places. Well, dangerous, a place for lovers in the park. From my words, little Hugo turned pink. But she was in no hurry to get up. Sighing wearily, I grabbed the girl's shoulders and just lifted. Well, come on, little Hyuga. From my words, Hinata came to her senses and sniffed indignantly. I'm not small, and in general, the indignant cry of the girl was interrupted by the bodyguard who appeared. Hinata-sama. You shouldn't run away alone, come quickly, your father is waiting for you. Poor Hyuga was confused and tried to detach herself from her guard. Wait for Ko-san, Naruto is there, I have to, you should not communicate with him, your father will be displeased, let's go quickly, such a funny case happened in the spring. Today is a new school year, and I think my road has begun to strengthen. And my stats look like this. Character, Naruto Uzumaki. Status, Dust Destroyer. Clean Girl. Desperate Housewife. The First Idiot of the Village. Loser of the Year. The hero is Seinen. A complete masochist. You idiot. A pain in the ass. The clown. Pyromaniac. The terrorist is an arsonist. Age, 10 years, level, 21 experience, 16452/68,000 class, Konoha's student health, 575/575 chakra, 600, plus 60/660 strength, 59 endurance, 57 intelligence, 60 dexterity, 56 wisdom, 12 unallocated points, 210 about the character. Thanks to the power of the heir of the great clan, the number of chakras has increased by 60 points. The percentage of the bonus will depend on the level of the character and intelligence. Due to the frequent close proximity to the source of evil energy, your character has received a passive KI resistance skill. Skills, passive, KI resistance highest level 9, 100%. Konoha's student, physical attack resistance level 4, 15.12%. Konoha's student, fire element resistance level 4, 74.64%. Citizen, water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. The art of cooking level 7, 76.11%. Konoha's student, intuition average level 9, 78.88%. Konoha student, hidden average level 6, 14.99%. Konoha student, trade average level 9, 53.76%. Konoha student, grade average level 7, 77.49%. Konoha student, domestic problems average level 9, 69.13%. Konoha student, evasion top level 7, 86.21%. Konoha student, pickpocket level 5, 13.12%. Citizen, creating simple traps level 9, 17.9%. Konoha student, language higher level 2, 1.36%. Konoha student, writing average level 9, 8.68%. Konoha student, advanced taijutsu, intermediate level 6, 13.15%. Konoha student, possession of throwing weapons top level 5, 65.16%. Konoha student, meditative leaf technique top level 8, 59%. Konoha student, the simplest manipulation of the chakra is the highest level 6, 17.09%. Konoha's disciple, chakra control highest level 7, 43.37%. Konoha's student, drawing average level 7, 89.99%. Konoha student, eloquence average level 4, 14.87%. Trap detection average level 7, 96.65%. Active jerk average level 5, 18.74%. Cost, 8 hours. Rollback time 3 seconds, Konoha student, recognition average level 7, 28.13%. Cost 4 hours. The rollback time is 2 seconds. Konoha's disciple, henge top level 7, 31.79%. Cost 5 EC. The rollback time is 1 second. Kawarimi average level 8, 21.65%. Cost 13 EC. The rollback time is 2 seconds. Necessary, the subject for substitution that I don't know when the next one will be released, but as soon as the time appears so immediately, most likely on the weekend. Maybe someone wants to beat? And then I miss a lot of mistakes, a new academic year and new classes. Unfortunately, from the first place in my studies, I slipped to the third. How, you ask? Yes, everything is banal, so that the creator of this illusory cloning hiccups in the coffin. It's necessary that an error pops up every time and a translucent something turns out. And this is despite the excellent control of the chakra. And this Uchiha, to be devoured by the Hokage, constantly turns up his nose complacently. So I would have hit him, but alas. They didn't put us in duels, only one of my carnivorous glances at him made Mizuki come to his senses and he urgently cancelled the fight. But poor Inuzuka suffered from me. When 2 weeks passed after the loss, this infection was pumped at home, so I took a good bite, but after classes with sensei, he howled from bruises all over his body. Unfortunately, they also stopped betting against me. And it was not interesting to take it out on the others. In addition to all this, the Uchiha fan club has grown beyond the academy. The girls did not cut their hair anymore, but in my opinion Sasuke had long forgotten about his words about his mother. However, everything went on as usual. Irika asked a lot of homework, which only pleased me. Sometimes he paid for my lunch in ramen, and that's when I really ate from the belly. The notes from the teacher were really useful. Every time I noticed that despite the maximum growth of skills, reflexes just eat into the body. It feels like my game interface is expired or the game itself is so cheap that no one cares about a bunch of bugs in it. I had almost 6 months left before passing the Genin exams. But how to pass it? This problem is still in question. No, if illusory clones fall out, then nothing can be done, but if something else falls out, for example, Kawarimi or Henge, here they come out easily for me, but it's completely out of my hands to refuse shadow clones. Yes, and there I have to find out that I am a Jinchuriki and maybe I will finally get buns from him. And then lately you just have to bring yourself to exhaustion to raise stats. Fortunately, Sensei's training has already brought me to the right state. I couldn't get into the subconscious. No matter how hard I try. And I tried to walk along the thread from the hearth, and just wanted to get there, but nothing works. Hokage hasn't been visiting me lately either, and thank Kami. After the death of the teacher, I had to realize a lot and completely limit my circle of friends. I would not want anyone else to be removed. But when I gain strength, everyone will greatly regret their actions. Speaking of strength, I managed to find in the library of the Academy of Printing for a callback. Here I almost choked with saliva when I saw such a bun. And the fact that the scroll was in the public domain made me hit my head against the wall several times. But I didn't dare to use the summoning technique now. After all, toads are one of the strongest appeals, and what if I get to the dogs, then I'll have to say goodbye to the Senin mod. And this is not good. Maybe Orochimaru has a call to steal snakes. After all, their buns are also nothing like that. One Kabuto is worth something. He was able to fight almost on a par with 2 Uchiha who looked through the MS. Yes, and almost complete ignoring of illusions with closed eyes. But to grow scales is also not comme il faut, and to all this there are also horns. No, let's hold off on that for now. Maybe it will be possible to get a call that can teach the management of the natural chakra. In addition to all this, there remains the question of Gaara. This type, especially in the form of Shukaku, is not easy to defeat. If I had Uzumaki knowledge, but what is not there is not. Although you can dig into the press about knowledge, there seems to be a clone of Kushina. Well, anyway, the way is closed to me there now. And then the study continued with renewed vigor. The 11th birthday flew by unnoticed. At least for me. Although, I didn't really care about it. Well, I got a year older, so what? This means that there is less and less time left, and skills and stats have stalled in place. Well, it's clear with the skills, they are pumped as much as possible, but it's really difficult to rock stats, and I don't want to spend points yet. But sometimes the hand just pulls to throw a couple in dexterity and intelligence. Another shock for me was that the attempt to walk through the trees completely failed. When I tried to do this, a window popped up that there was not enough control. After that, I decided to train like in the canon. And the most amazing thing happened. Of course, I didn't learn in a week. After all, the original team had already graduated from the academy and Naruto's control was a little better then. A month of constant falls and I still got it. Actually, the skill was opened. The rest of the time had to be spent on increasing it, because it was possible to use the skill unconsciously only from the middle 5th level. But even this was accomplished by the end of winter. Exams were approaching. I had no choice but to master the control of the chakra. Walking on the water had to be postponed for several days. Unfortunately, there were no lakes or streams at the distant landfill, so we had to look for another place. After a week of searching, I was lucky. By the end of the month, I still managed to stand on the water. But alas, it did not work out to develop the skill. Exams began. The written part did not take much time. After finishing first, they let me go home and told me not to be late for the practical part tomorrow morning. I spent the rest of the day trying to create at least one clone. Despite the improved controls, nothing worked out for me. It feels like something is interfering inside of me. In the morning, the mood was lousy. Not only did I not get enough sleep, but I also couldn't perform this damn technique. The audience filled up pretty quickly. One person went to the exam. So far, everything has passed. Finally it's my turn. Walking up to the table, I greeted Irika and Mizuki. "Hi, Naruto, let's pull the ticket and show what you can." After looking at the ticket for a while, I took a deep breath and pulled out one of them. Yes, there is clearly something wrong with this world. Why clones? After all, I decided to pass yesterday, and I don't care about the bonus in the form of shadow clones. That's for sure, you can't escape fate. Unfortunately, I failed all 3 attempts. Sorry Naruto, but it looks like you didn't pass. Irika, maybe we'll skip it. After all, the task was to create a clone, and he kind of completed it, although it didn't work out very well. Mizuki said. You know the rule, if he was still standing, but alas, try next year, Naruto. Sighing heavily, I went outside and sat down on the swing. It remains to wait for Mizuki. The exam ended only 2 hours later. When the academy was empty, Mizuki approached me with an offer. Notification. Task: steal the Hokage scroll and get a new class, rank, S.experience, 100000 award, Genin class. Variatively, yeah, that's really a task, so a task. Yes, and variatively. Not bad, not bad. Like the original, I decided to act at night, simultaneously taking an indelible marker. Why do I need it? Oh, that's a good question. In the canon, the Hokage slept in the workplace. So to decorate it is a sacred thing. When 10 o'clock came, I left the house and walked towards the residence. There were no guards in sight. The keyword is not visible. Most likely ANBU is hiding in every corner here. Kicking out the door to the Hokage's office. Well, what about it? They're looking out for me anyway. I approached Hiruzen, and began to decorate him methodically. After looking at the table and seeing a couple of documents to sign, I thought carefully, and then began to paint them. There was a whimpering from above, but when I looked, I didn't see anyone. Several powerful snores were heard from the Hokage, which almost blew me off his feet. Jumping down, I went to the shelf with the scrolls. Having found what I was looking for, I threw it on my back and went out through the front door. There was still an hour left before the meeting. So there is time to study the scroll. Well, what can I say after a cursory study of it? This is a complete bummer. Ask why? Hokage Scroll, copy, a grade A artifact, the keeper of knowledge. That's why it's a bummer. We can say that the copy is beautiful, but alas, most of the techniques have been corrected, so it's not an option to perform them, it's easier to kill yourself. Having learned the shadow clones, I threw useless garbage on my back. Why useless? Because the rest of the techniques were tweaked so that alas and ah. When I reached the meeting place, I plopped down near a tree and waited. Here's the Hokage beetle. Well, I would have left the original, the traitor wouldn't leave anyway, so no, he dragged himself after the scroll in vain. After mentioning the Hokage and his sexual preferences with a loud word, I again went into my thoughts, so I missed the appearance of Mizuki. Well done, Naruto-kun, you did everything right, and now give me the scroll. Where's my blindfold, sensei? Come with me, Naruto, with this scroll we will be accepted to any village, and there, I am sure, you will get any title you want. But I don't want to leave. My dream is to become a Hokage. How pathetic, but alas, there is no other way out. Why would you stay here, Naruto? Everyone hates you. Do you know why? No one has told you, but do you know the events of 11 years ago? The nine-tailed fox attacked the village and then the fourth Hokage, at the cost of his life, defeated him. Do you understand now? You are the nine-tailed fox, Naruto, you. Several things happened at that moment. Notification. Who would have thought? It turns out you are a legendary demon. The aura of hatred for all living things envelopes and absorbs you. You are the bearer of death for people. Destroy what you could not do 11 years ago, let people pay for what they did to you. A branch of the Demon Path class has been opened. New skills: passive, Demon Aura max level, physical resistance max level, Demon Body max level, Demonic Chakra control max level, the Demon's Gaze max level, resistance to all elements max level. Illusion resistance max level, fire possession max level, wind control max level, demon techniques max level. Aura of the strongest demon max level, active, Bijadama max level. The cost is 100 EDM. Rollback, 0 seconds creating a tornado max level. Cost 30 EDM rollback, 0 seconds. Breath of Fire max level, cost 5 EDM rollback, 0 seconds. Multiple firing with dwarf Bijadamas, cost 60 EDM, 10 EDM/min, rollback 0 seconds. Chakra ejection max level, cost is variable. Rollback 0 seconds. What the fuck? The power just bursts me. Small stones around me began to rise into the air. And the ground beneath me began to burn. The red chakra is destroying everything around me. The unconscious release of the demon's energy demolished Mizuki. From the euphoria, I just fell into a precipitate. And Kyubi has all this? How he was even tied up. I have a feeling that just throwing away all the chakra I will sweep away half of the village. Everything was ruined by Iruka running in. Naruto, don't listen to him. You are not a demon, yes it is sealed in you, but you are a man. No. Shut up, damn you, damn late. Notification. Not everything is as bad as it turned out in the beginning. You are not a demon. Your body is just a vessel, a prison for the tailed one. Despite the bad attitude of people, even for a demon vessel there are advantages. Due to the frequent mixing of the demonic chakra with your native one, you get plus 50% of the chakra. Regeneration plus 300%. Constant increase in strength plus 5. Partial resistance from illusions. Constant increase in stamina plus 10. You get less tired from physical work. My bonuses. Herod, you just ruined my elevation. Iruka, who came, saw a strange picture. Naruto, who had fallen to his knees and was crying, lay unconscious and partially burned Mizuki not far from him. Strange words kept coming out of the blonde man's mouth. But everything quickly stopped as soon as the boy lost consciousness. Kyubi was angry. No, he was furious. Some creature from the outside almost merged his essence with the jailer. The thought that someone could control him the same way as Sharingan made his fangs itch. And the seething chakra around the fox arranged a hurricane in the subconscious of the boy. Growling Kyubi tried to bring his carrier into the subconscious to talk, but something prevented. Uttering a malicious growl, the fox released a sea of chakras, transferring the consciousness of the jailer to himself. I woke up in a strange place resembling a sewer. The doubt about where I got to disappeared immediately. It remains to find a place with a grid. Come here. A half-growl, half-distorted bass voice pointed me in the direction. But for a few minutes I hesitated whether to go there. About the hatred that came from the fox, one could have been killed. But putting aside my doubts, I went ahead. After about 5 minutes, I came to a huge grate, behind which a fox was watching me with blood-red eyes. And a strange thing was happening in the cell. The fox's entire chakra was just bubbling around him. Huge layers of fiery energy were hitting the grid. For a moment it seemed to me that he was about to leak out and burn me without leaving a trace. Here we meet, jailer. Now, let me out so I can paint this place with your blood. From his voice, I almost shit myself on the spot. How can you put so much hate into a voice? And growling notes only add to the effect. I have to refuse. A powerful paw strike shook my subconscious. The waves from his blow just threw me away. And I forgot to say, the whole subconscious was knee-deep in water. How dare you disobey, bug? Let me out, I'll eat your whole village. And then I will destroy the Uchiha who took control of me, and then his entire clan. I don't want to upset you, but the Uchiha was already cut out. Ha ha ha, the cursed clan has finally disappeared. I've been waiting for this for so long. So what, why did you call? I need freedom. Still, you can't get used to this. His status is not visible at all. Only Kyubi no Yoko and the Immortal Demon, and that's it. And if we agree? Negotiate with a person. I'd rather smear you on the walls. Damn, I'm scared. Can you get out of here before it's too late? I have something to offer you. What can a person like you offer me besides freedom? Your other half. From this word, the fox's chakra just bubbled up and went to the grid in new portions. How? Shinigami has it, he won't give it away just like that. In the Uzumaki quarter, near the village, there is a temple. There is a mask that can summon Shinigami, it's useless. You have nothing to pay him with. So just break the seal, and let me destroy the damn Konoha and everyone in it, and if I succeed? What do you want in return? Help. Not power? Yes. I need to survive until I come into power. There are too many powerful people who want to get me. Well, so be it. But don't hope for more, and remember, if I have a chance to break the cage, I will break it and kill everyone around you. Okay. After these words, I was thrown out of my subconscious. Wiping my perspiring forehead, I looked down in surprise. The whole sheet was wet with sweat. That's really given me a conversation with a fox. Yeah. But then I didn't even get a part of his power. Would I make a mistake by connecting the two parts of it? And yes, I will really try to find a mask. I hope with it I will be able to summon Shinigami and get the second part of the fox. From the effects of the whole fox, drool began to drip from his mouth. I was distracted from my thoughts by the opening of the compartment door of the ward. The Hokage himself came to me in his permanent outfit and unfortunately without my beautiful lines on his face. Sighing bitterly, I waited for him to start talking. "Hello, Naruto-kun. How are you doing? Does anything hurt?" If I didn't know who he was, I would believe in a soft voice wishing everyone well. "It's okay, Hokage-sama. What about Mizuki? Taken into custody and awaiting interrogation." "But that's not what I came for." "Hold." Sarutobi pulled out a leaf protector from the folds of his cloak and handed it to me. "Now you are officially genin. Thanks to you, a dangerous criminal was captured, who turned out to be a spy of an enemy village. And since everything is fine with you after a hard fight, then it's better for you to return to the academy, in half an hour the distribution." After the words of the Hokage, I quickly jumped up and, not paying attention to an outsider, changed into my overalls. And then the march to the academy began. I got there just in time. Irika came right behind me. "Sit down, children." Everyone quickly dispersed to their places. Some looked at me with surprise, who was sitting quietly in his place. And of course, Sakura reminded me of herself. "Sorry, Irika-sensei, but didn't Naruto fail the exam?" So much superiority in voice, I wanted to crack this fifu, and bury it under a tree. Here, she only shines with her mind. Yes, Sakura-chan is, but last night, thanks to Naruto, a spy was captured, and Hokage handed him a protector without an exam. From the words of the teacher, everyone turned to me in surprise. After casting a glance of superiority at my classmates, I went into my thoughts. So, children, you probably noticed that some of your classmates have disappeared. It's because 3 of the strongest and most balanced teams have gathered here. Now I will name the members of your future groups and Hunin's mentor. And so team number 7, Haruno Sakura, Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Mentor Hatake Kakashi. From Sakura came a squeal and contemptuous glances to the rest of the girls. 8th team, Inazuka Kiba, Hyuga Hinata, Shino Aburame. Mentor Juhi Kurenai. And the 10th team, Yamanako Ino, Nara Shikamaru and Akimichi Chuji. Mentor Sarutobi Asuma. And now good luck to you on the path of becoming a shinobi. And may the will of fire always burn in your hearts. I was proud to teach such students. After a high-sounding speech, Irika left, and the mentors came to us, who, logically, took 2 teams. After all, Kakashi is canonical, which is what I was most afraid of. You know, it's very convenient to train the psyche and nerves in this way. I was sitting there with a brick face, looking at the wall. All this time, Pink did not stop talking for a second. Constant speeches about the coolness of Uchiha brought me to the point that I almost became his fan myself. In 2 hours, I remembered all the kinds of tortures that Sensei described to me. I was seriously considering using some of them on Haruno. But thank Kami, Kakashi came. When he saw my stony face, he raised an eyebrow questioningly. Pointing with his eyes at Sakura, he cast a fleeting glance there and sighed heavily. "It's stuffy here, let's go to the roof." 2 lovebirds, just now noticed Sensei. In my opinion Uchiha left our orbit a long time ago and looked at nothing with an empty gaze. We got to the roof pretty quickly. In general, after Kakashi's words, Uchiha jumped so quickly that I doubted his canonical image. While we were sitting down a lot, Sakura managed to get bored and Hatake. She didn't stop talking for a second. Raising his eyes to the sky, he sighed sorrowfully. It even seemed to me that his only eye glistened, but in my opinion I already have glitches. Let's introduce ourselves and tell a little about ourselves. What you love, don't love, what dreams you have, set an example, Sensei. Alright. My name is Hatake Kakashi, Jonin. What I like is too early for you to know, the dream does not concern you. Now you go on. He pointed at Sakura. Good. My name is Haruno Sakura, Genin. I like one person. I look at Sasuke. A dream, natural steam came from the reddened Sakura. I think I'm going crazy. Where did these glitches come from? Our future sensei sighed heavily. Well, what don't you like? Naruto. Those times. And why? I didn't even talk to her. Well, I don't care, she doesn't care about me at all. Okay, let's you now. Finger on me, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, Genin. I like it when everyone bows at my feet. I don't like deserters who don't bow to me. The dream of becoming the ruler of the world. Well, understand now whether I'm joking or not. All this was said with a serious face. My teammates looked at me in surprise, as if they were seeing me for the first time. Okay, you stayed. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I don't like much and a lot of things I don't. A dream, no, rather a goal to kill one person and revive your clan. In my opinion, Hatake got a little stuck. Well, would also be surprised when they gave me a pervert, a psycho who dreams of conquering the world and an avenger. We'll meet at 6 o'clock at the 7th training ground tomorrow. Don't have breakfast, you might throw up. I'll do a test tomorrow. And, having fallen silent, disappeared in a whirlwind of leaves. When I got home, I went to practice. I didn't get home until 9 in the evening. Having set the alarm for 9:30, I fell asleep. I just don't remember when Kakashi will come at 10 or 11. The morning began with the alarm clock beeping. After putting the kettle on, I went to wash my face. After finishing my morning exercise, I brewed myself a ramen and after breakfast went to the landfill. It was 10 minutes to 10. My team was sleeping quietly under a tree. Sitting in the lotus position, I started meditating. The teacher showed up at 10 o'clock sharp. He coughed softly, drawing attention to himself. Uchiha and Haruno abruptly assumed an upright position. But after a second sensei regretted that he just didn't sit in the shade. Teacher. You're too late. Naruto. MMA, stop shouting. The cat ran across the road and had to look for another way. The excuse is SOSO. Let's start the exam. But we've already passed them at the academy, you have passed the academic exam. Each team must also pass an exam with a mentor. And if you fail, you will return to the academy. But how so? Let me explain to you how things are. Despite the fact that many have become genins, 30% of those who pass the mentor exam will really continue the shinobi path. The rest will study for another year or find civilian professions. And now directly to the exam. Your task will be to select these bells. Your time is about 2 hours before noon. And one more thing, the one who can't get the bell will be tied to a post, and everyone else will eat in front of his eyes. But sensei, there are only 2 of them. That's right, Sakura, one of you will have to return to the academy anyway. And yet, in order to win, you must attack with the desire to kill me. Defiantly hanging the bells on his belt. Kakashi signaled the beginning of the exam, and taking out the book began to read. We hid. It is unrealistic to pass this test. Even if we unite. Uchiha has several fire techniques and a basic set from the academy. I have only one useful shinobi technique. The rest are not yet developed. After all, the new class only received yesterday and there was almost no time for their development. But since I wasn't even given a quest for this fight, it turns out that you need to think with your head here. After all, if the quest system turned on, it would give me a hint. But I already know what needs to be done. Shadow cloning technique. 5 copies of me appeared next to me. 2 went after the teammates, and 3 pretended to be us under the henge and went on the attack. Of course, Kakashi immediately understood the idea, so he lazily walked away from the blows, while managing to flip through the book. Uchiha and Haruno were dragged bound and gagged. And judging by the missing sleeves of my prisoners, it became clear what the gag was made of. So, guys. I know how much you love me. But we don't have much time. I know the essence of the task. Even the 3 of us will not be able to get the bells. Why, the 3 of them, if all the geniuses of the academy had gathered together, they would not have been able to get the bells from him. So listen up. Express your opinion later. My team was boring me with a withering look. And now listen, their bellowing got me. And the leg on the Uchiha's chest became the key to negotiations. I don't like you, you don't like me. This is mutual between us. But the essence of the task is teamwork. Even if you take the bell, you will fail. Just because they didn't know and didn't guess what was what. Therefore, I propose to show our, hopefully, future sensei love and understanding. Now I will untie you and we will attack him together, covering each other. You can even arrange a drama with self-sacrifice. Do you understand or explain again? Otherwise I'm afraid it takes a long time to get to the stupid ones. The team nodded together in denial. Having unleashed our men, more precisely, our teammates, we went to punish evil, or rather to take the exam. In a poorly lit office, a man completely bandaged in bandages was angry. No, not like that, he was furious. I spent 7 years, 7 whole years, trying to get Jinchuriki out of himself. Even Shursui used Sharingan, but this bastard is not broken through like a rock. An easy illusion, and even Anbu Hokage did not understand anything, and this Uzumaki at least Henna. The blow imbued with chakra completely demolished one of the walls of the office. But in the end I almost succeeded, but the damn teacher from the academy destroyed everything. I even managed to hide the emanations of the tailed chakra. We need to calm down. Now this Uchiha is gone and we have to wait a long time until the eye could be used. Well, never mind, I'll wait a little longer, I know how to wait. As expected, we couldn't even scratch the Hataki. By the end of the 2nd hour, the bells were still hanging on his belt. When the alarm went off, Kakashi stopped the fight with a hand gesture. Well, you've lost. Now you have to go back to the academy. But never mind, study for a year and try again. Here's a bug, because he heard my words. But sensei, in my opinion, we have coped with the task. And why do you think so, Naruto? But, after all, the main thing was teamwork. That's true, but I haven't seen her at your place, even though you tried. And what did you want from the newly formed team? Miracles of cohesion and understanding with a half-word? Yes. Exactly. Shinobi should be able to adapt to everything. You are mistaken, it is you who should teach us, pass on your experience, but you are just too lazy. I see you talk a lot. But my decision is final. I'll give you another chance. Rest for an hour and try again. Since there are only 2 bentos, Naruto will be tied up. Someone who can talk so much can't be very hungry. PF, what's the point? This is also a test. You're too smart. And what is it this time? The point is for Sakura and Sasuke to feed me. Something like peace and friendship. It's even a shame, you're the only one who guessed it. Okay, you've passed. I'll go inform the Hokage. Congratulations, you have passed the hidden quest. And they were able to convince Jounin to become your teacher. Along the way, explaining the essence of his task. Experience, 250000 award, Teacher Hunin. Plus 15 to intelligence. Plus 2 to wisdom. And to eat, bento 2, so have lunch at home, it's not fair. There was no limit to my anger. I have to report. We'll meet tomorrow at the Hokage residence at 11, and Kakashi and his bento disappeared. Here's a real beetle. Congratulations, you have received a new class, Genin, rewards, plus 10 to all stats. Mentor Hunin. Some simple techniques are available to you in the library. Your status has been updated. You've got a new level, you've got a new level, you've got a new level. Yes. 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 I was given 7 levels. What kind of luck? Did my luck turn to face me too? At the moment I was sitting at home and was afraid to look at my status. I haven't seen him since yesterday. And, to be honest, I'm a little scared to open it. How many things have happened over the years, and there have been very few good things. The only person dear to me was killed, simply because he helped me survive in this terrible world. And then even more difficult tests are waiting for me, old dilapidated wallpaper that is about to peel off and fall off, an ancient table from the time of Shodai Hokage and a small kitchen, which is located right there just a few meters away. This is how a person lives, whom most of the world is supposed to be afraid of. Units in this world would be able to cope with the strongest tailed, while not dying themselves, but having driven gloomy thoughts away. I opened the status, character, Naruto Uzumaki, status, Jinchuriki, age, 11 years old, level, 31 experience, 2387/93,000 class, Genin, health, 1040/1040 chakra. 2128/2128 strength, 87 endurance, 104 intelligence, 76 dexterity, 81 wisdom, 22 unallocated points, 310 about the character. You are the last heir of the Uzumaki clan. Thanks to unprecedented endurance and a huge reserve of chakra, representatives of this clan could live for more than 100 years. Endurance plus 15, plus 60% to the volume of the chakra. Your body has become a vessel for the strongest of the Biju, even though you have only half of his true strength. Since infancy, the fox chakra has permeated your body, so you have gained immunity to many poisons, and your regeneration is only slightly inferior to Hashirama Senju. Because of the demon's influence, your body has changed a lot. Endurance plus 15, strength plus 15, dexterity plus 15, constant increase to the volume of the chakra 75%. Despite all the advantages of cohabitation, illusion techniques are not available to you. Skills, passive, KI resistance highest level 9, 100%. Physical attack resistance level 4, 15.12%. Fire element resistance level 4, 74.64%. Water element resistance level 0, 0%. Earth element resistance level 0, 0%. Lightning element resistance level 0, 0%. Wind resistance level 0, 0%. Culinary arts intermediate level 3, 71.05%. Intuition average level 9, 78.88%. Hidden average level 6, 14.99%. Trade average level 9, 53.76%. Rating average level 7, 77.49%. Domestic problems average level 9, 69.13%. Konoha student, evasion top level 7, 86.21%. Konoha student, pickpocket level 5, 13.12%. Creating simple traps level 9, 17.9%. Konoha student, language higher level 2, 1.36%. Letter average level 9, 8.68%. Improved sheet taijutsu average level 6, 13.15%. Possession of throwing weapons top level 5, 65.16%. Meditative leaf technique top level 8, 59%. The simplest manipulation of the chakra is the highest level 6, 17.09%. Konoha's disciple, drawing average level 7, 89.99%. Eloquence average level 4, 14.87%. Trap detection average level 7, 96.65%. Chakra control level 4, 0%. Tree walking average level 7, 32.18%. Walking on water level 3, 16.74%. Active jerk average level 5, 18.74%. Cost, 8 hours. Rollback time 3 seconds. Recognition average level 7, 28.13%. Cost 4 hours. The rollback time is 2 seconds. Hinged top level 7, 31.79%. Cost 5 EC. The rollback time is 1 second. Kawarimi average level 8, 21.65%. Cost 13 EC. The rollback time is 2 seconds. Necessary, the subject for substitution, shadow cloning level 1, 13.73%. Cost 50% EC, rollback 0 seconds. Mass shadow cloning level 1, 13.71%. I didn't expect this. Although, control is still a pity, but such a huge amount of chakra. It's just incredible. Now with clones, the training will increase significantly, but first you need to find out your element. Well, I don't believe that I only have the wind. You can't postpone training, you need to get stronger as soon as possible. I don't have much time. Grabbing a small amount of money, I quickly put on my shoes and ran out into the street that I decided to postpone lunch. Looking at the shinobi shop on the way, I bought some chakra-productive leaves and ran to the landfill that I do not know what kind of element I will have and I have no idea how to train it. Of course, if it's not the wind. It will be bad to have only one element. Squeezing the paper and taking a deep breath, I passed the chakra through it, unexpected, to be honest. After all, the element embodies some character traits. I have 2 main ones. And it's not lightning, or even fire. And lightning is unlikely to give in to me, because my main element is wind, and, as you know, wind is stronger than lightning in this world, or rather its opposite, which is strange. But the surprise for me was the water, which became the second. I have no idea how to train her. And I don't really need it yet. I'll start, perhaps, with the wind. The technique of mass shadow cloning. 200 clones is an unexpected result. If I wanted, I could bring them up to almost 500, but then they wouldn't last long. That I couldn't cut a leaf corny, no matter how much I tried. So, tired and angry, I headed home. The morning greeted me cheerful and happy. What happened for the first time in this world? I've been here for quite a long time, and Asian dishes are also not given to me, or rather I'm too lazy to cook them. Especially in the morning, when you can fry scrambled eggs. After breakfast, I threw the piercing cutting devices into my pouch and headed for the residence. Kakashi was exactly 2 hours late. During this time, our entire release and several unknown groups passed by us. A couple of times Chunins jumped out of the windows, who ran away in the direction of the exit from the village. Yo, good morning. Kakashi, as if nothing had happened, was sitting on the fence and reading a book, well, or pretending to read. Sensei. You're too late. And it's already day, not morning. Sakura was yelling at the whole street, while waving her arms in all directions. I'm sorry, the old lady was crossing the street with packages, I couldn't pass by and helped her. How can you lie so directly to your face? And without batting an eye. In a word, the perfect spy. For 2 weeks we performed low-ranking missions, we were given little experience for them, and even more money. I had to tie my belt tight. The manual also waved at me, because now I am an independent and almost adult ninja from the land of fire. Well, the Vrazin mass destruction complex is included in the kit, although it seemed from the outside that Kakashi does not train us, but it was not so. And every time we failed his own tests, he just shook his head bitterly. I understood what he wanted, and even tried to do these tasks somehow, but, unfortunately, everything went awry. My team ignored everything with the tenacity of sheep. And a little preparation failed every time at the beginning of the Kakashi test. No, a couple of times I was still able to pull something off, but, alas, my efforts ended there, because it was not easy to explain what everyone should reach by himself, although several times I directly told what to do. In the end, all the training that Kakashi had compiled flew to hell in the middle of nowhere. And the last few days he didn't care at all, and we just carried out missions. POV Hiruzen. Hokage Residence. 18:23. Hokage's work is difficult, and Sarutobi realized long ago that it was time to run, but who to leave the village for? All the best candidates disappeared on missions, which was not without Danzo and the elders, and leaving the village to these senile people is like signing a verdict on a shaky truce among countries, because Danzo only cherishes a plan to conquer all countries, well, or to annex new lands to the land of fire. He and the daimyo will not be a decree, there would have been evidence and most officials would have lost their heads. Another problem was the domestication of the Jinchuriki. Of course, the son of Minato and Kushina is a very smart boy and has already understood a lot, or guesses, and all Kakashi's reports indicate this. We are only wasting his talent among ordinary genins. If everything had been revealed earlier, Akao's death could have been avoided. Stop. Why am I thinking about this now? After all, I have known reports about the successes of Jinchuriki for a long time. Stop. Why Jinchuriki, and not Naruto? What the, Sparrow? Quickly call Inoichi to me. Umbu, who appeared at the call of the Hokage, disappeared in a whirlwind of leaves. 2 minutes later, the head of the Yamanako clan was standing next to the Hokage. Have you been summoned, Hokage-sama? The blonde man bowed respectfully. Inoichi, drop the pleasantries, check me for bookmarks and quickly. Yamanako's eyebrows went up, and he froze in place, not daring to approach the head of the village. Stop marking time, I don't have that much time. Inoichi quickly approached the Hokage and put his right hand on his head. After half an hour, the procedure was completed. Hokage-sama, there are no bookmarks on you. Yamanako walked away from the head in surprise. This can't be happening. Suddenly something clicked in the head of the ruler of the village. From his jerk, the table flew to the side, and a small shelf on the wall just shattered into splinters. After folding a couple of seals, Hiruzen touched the barrier. A moment later, a small dome burst, and in the hands of the Hokage there was a small scroll that was flashing red. What about you, Danzo? How is this possible? Where did he get the Uchiha from? Having passed a little chakra through the scroll, Hokage sighed wearily. Although my head cleared up, but the memory of the mistakes only fell on the shoulders of the old ruler. So many mistakes, and nothing can be fixed. Hiruzen's rage made the head of the Yamanaka clan break out in a cold sweat. Inoichi, everything you saw here must remain a secret. As soon as you get out of here, find Kakashi and tell him to bring Naruto tomorrow after the mission. And one more thing, tell Nara to bring a report. He will understand what we are talking about. And the morning started as usual. A little exercise and breakfast brought the colors back to this world. Throwing the dirty dishes in the sink, I headed to the meeting place. Kakashi, as always, did not bother himself, and was an hour late. After a stormy greeting from Sakura, we headed to the Hokage. As always, Kakashi took the most lousy mission. This time garbage collection on the bank of a small river that flowed near Konoha and supplied several villages. After 2 hours of torment with the clones, we finally managed to complete the mission. After handing out our reward, Kakashi freed us. Everyone except Naruto can go. After waiting for all the extra ones to leave, the gray-haired man looked at me, for once putting the book away. And you and I will go to the Hokage. Kakashi's voice made my insides tremble that I didn't remember the way to the office. All my thoughts revolved only on where I had failed and betrayed myself. Entering the head of the village, I mentally exhaled. The situation was the same as usual. Come in, Naruto, and sit down. Hiruzen looked at me with some warmth. It made everything inside me tense up. I was waiting every second for a small squad to jump out of the window and tie me hand and foot. Don't worry so much. As if reading my thoughts, Sarutobi said. Bowing to the Hokage, I silently sat down on a chair that stood opposite the head. Kakashi wrote a lot of interesting things in his report. You're making great progress. From the words of the Hokage, I began to slowly relax, but I did not lose concentration. If events take an unfavorable turn, I am ready to release the fox. Even though I'm going to die, I'll take a couple hundred ninjas with me. It seems to me that you are just wasting your time in an ordinary genin team. Is he hinting at Amba so subtly to me? Of course, it's too early for you to join the Umbu, but there are special units for genins who are much superior to their peers. The offer is good, but it confuses. If I agree to join such a squad, the canon will wave his hand. And if, because of my appearance, he has already changed, but not so much, then this time everything may be more complicated. And what do I lose? I know it's unexpected, I'll give you time to think. No need, old man, I agree. It would be interesting to see what is in these squads. Then tomorrow at 6 o'clock, instead of meeting with the team, you will go to the 45th training ground. You have excellent training, but it does not meet the minimum requirements. Bowing to the Hokage, I left and headed towards my apartment. Hokage exhaled wearily. The conversation was harder than he thought. Damn Danzo, he cleaned up after himself thoroughly. There's not even anything to find fault with. Kakashi, there will be a replacement in team number 7. Naruto Uzumaki is too valuable to waste his talent on missions for highborn kids, even if the clans have asked for softer conditions for their offspring, but losing real geniuses would be a big mistake for us. Suddenly one of the walls trembled, and a gray-haired man came out. Nodding to the ruler, he jumped out of the window. What kind of obnoxious children, for whom the door was created? The morning of the next day greeted me too cheerfully. I wonder why such a change in mood? After a quick wash and breakfast, I put on a camouflage jumpsuit that I bought recently and jumped towards the 45th training ground. Although the control dropped a lot, it didn't affect my skills much, which made me very happy. It would be faster to raise it to the highest level, then even high-ranking technicians would spend a meager amount of chakra. 5 people were waiting for me in a small clearing. All in Umbu uniforms and masks. You have entered the training area, the efficiency has increased by 32%, you will be able to learn techniques faster. There were no censored words left. It would be necessary to check why this was not displayed at the abandoned landfill. Discarding unnecessary thoughts, I approached the Jonins, and who else could it be? And bowed. From under one mask, the one on the far left, a chuckle was heard. However, the others did not express their feelings in any way. The tall man standing in the middle stepped forward. Because of the hood of the cloak, the color of his hair was not visible. Looks like it's their captain, Uzumaki Naruto. Our team was specially recalled from the border because of you. Did they really screw up somewhere? There was silence for a minute. I felt 5 pairs of eyes burning through me. Did I say that out loud? The simultaneous nod of 5 people was my answer. I should talk to people more, otherwise I've gone completely wild. Ahem, okay, let's get back to business. Our team was sent for your training. You don't need to know our names. We'll be replaced by others in a week anyway. Hokage told me that you were enrolled in a special squad, so don't even push for pity, you'll say thank you in the future. And, nodding complacently, he got into line, or rather it seemed so to me, but as soon as I blinked, the captain was left alone. Let's test your skills first. My intuition just screams that he enjoys the sight of my jaw hanging open. What kind of monsters are here? I don't even know how they're going to kill me. Notification, hold out, or try not to die, in a fight with the captain of one of the Umbu units for a minute, do your best to show everything you are capable of. Jonin will only use 2% of his true powers, experience, 200,000 reward, plus 5 to all stats except wisdom. Respect among the rapid reaction squad, penalty, possible death. There are no censored words left. I don't even want to look at his stats. I'm afraid my self-esteem will fall below the baseboard. Well, how did such monsters come into being at all? Mother. But there is also a Hokage, the strongest ninja of the village, to whom this team is one tooth. I suddenly felt sick. What kind of strength does the beast in my stomach have, since he even has a Hokage for one tooth if he turns around? And how do you order to live in such a world? I had to discard unnecessary thoughts when my opponent rushed at me. His movements were barely discernible. Intuition and replacement technique saved me from a powerful blow to the head. By folding the seal, I created 100 clones that attacked Jonin. But the fucking captain, at least Henna, he shot down all my doppelgangers with one chakra release. And that's fucking 2%? What is the real power of this killing machine? There was no time to think, the blow of the Jonin left a crater in the place where I had just been. Heck! Without intuition, I would have nothing to catch here. In the blink of an eye, Jonin disappeared, and I had to roll away. In the place where I was standing, a second crater was formed, from a kick without adding a chakra. Am I even going to stay alive? 20 seconds have passed, and I have been on the verge of death 3 times already. Throwing unnecessary thoughts away, I pulled the kunai out of the pouch and threw it at my opponent. Either I'm having glitches, or I really heard a yawn from under the mask. For a moment, Jonin's hand smeared, and all my knives flew back at me. What is going on here anyway? A crazy thought flashed through at the moment, and the kunai pierced a piece of wood that appeared in the place where I was standing. The remaining 20 seconds passed at the same pace. And just before I was sent into the darkness, I heard the sound of a pop-up window. Congratulations, you have completed the quest. Owl, is he really alive? You went a little overboard at the last moment. A voice came from one of the trees. Nothing, he'll get better. He surprised me. Not everyone in a soft learning class could have lasted that long. Well, nothing, here they will make a good ninja out of him, or they will kill him in the process. The captain said with a grin. Have you by any chance forgotten who he is? What's the difference? No one will give him a descent. If he was sent here, then he has everything he needs to survive. And judging by his lifestyle and reports, he is as tenacious as a cockroach. As always, you have unsuccessful comparisons of people. The voice was low and husky. The captain and his subordinate turned towards the speaker. And where have you been all this time? Said the captain. Business, I went to my own again. The silhouette of the man who appeared was smeared, however, his opponent also did not stand still. Just a few centimeters away, the blows were stopped opposite each other by the captain, who at the same time supported the unconscious body of his student with one hand. How many times have I warned you? And so we're stuck here because of you, so you're still going on. Once again, I will ask Hokage to send you on low-ranking missions for 6 months. The captain's words sent goosebumps down the backs of the 2 Bushnik. I woke up late at night and, judging by the smell, in the hospital. Great, I didn't have time to start training, as I was back in the infirmary. Well, at least 2 levels have become a balm for the soul. Yes, and 5 to all characteristics, except wisdom, of course, is also not bad. The hand is reaching out to scatter the free glasses, but while it's easy to swing the characteristics, it's better not to do this, unless of course I want to end up badly later. The next day, I came to the training ground at 6 o'clock. My teachers were waiting for me there. Approaching them, I greeted them and made a bow. Let's not waste time, create 400 clones, 100 for each of my subordinates, and with me you will tighten up your physical training. Despite training with mentors, I did not forget about the science of the teacher, and every evening I found the strength to fulfill all the points. As it was said, after a week another team was already waiting for me. And so it is almost every week. Some stayed for 2 or even 3 weeks. I didn't meet my first acquaintances anymore. I trained for exactly 6 months, and every day my life was in mortal danger. The stats were growing by leaps and bounds, and sparring at the end of the week with the Jonins gave a lot of experience, so my level rose to 41st. But even so, I could not oppose something to the Jonins. Although it was written every time that only 2% of their strength was used during sparring. In addition to physical training, I was helped to develop the element of wind and began to increase control over water. And I will remember training with my second main element in my nightmares for the rest of my life. You may ask why. The answer is simple: these sadists have not found a better and faster method to develop the element, except to shove me under the water until I instinctively start using it. The first time I almost died. However, as well as the next 10. The only thing is, after the first time, it was decided to put this training at the end so that the development would not stop. Although my stats were growing by leaps and bounds, I couldn't determine exactly how much stronger I became due to the fact that there wasn't a person among the Umbu who was a little stronger than me. Which, in general, is logical and scary. When will I become such a monster? And how in general San Toad was able to train Naruto so that he stood on the same level with the strongest of this world, it's even a shame somehow. It turns out that the original Narik was a genius. Life is a pain. Not only did I move forward, but the 7th team also. As I heard they had a new team member. Somewhat reminiscent of the canonical Naruto. The whole village was talking about their adventures. The only team of graduates who completed the task of a rank. After they began to be praised all over the village, I felt sad. After all, the advanced groups that I got into did not take tasks less than a rank. And at the same time, you can't take them there and protect them. And espionage, intelligence, destruction of a target, capture of a spy, it would be possible to list further, but let's stop here. Today was my exam for joining a new team. There were not many people present, only Hokage, a few Anbushnik, Kakashi, and judging by the look and cigarette in his teeth Asuma Sarutobi. Uzumaki Naruto, the test for admission to the elite team can be considered open. The written part was performed admirably, but this is only 20% of the test. Please, your opponent will be Maruyama Yuichi. How interesting, I mentally grinned, old acquaintances. After all, the old man managed to get ahead of the mummy and grab the boy for himself. The fight will continue either until the loss of consciousness of one of the participants, or until the admission of defeat. As soon as I give the sign, you can start. Notification: win or last 10 minutes against Maruyama Yuichi, experience, 100,000 reward, plus 10 to all stats except wisdom plus 2. New class. Plus 15 to all characteristics. With a wave of his hand, Hokage disappeared from the arena. At the same moment, Yuichi's silhouette disappeared into thin air. What the fuck? Where does this speed come from? There is no time. After creating the clones, I jumped back to check the status of my opponent. Character: Maruyama Yuichi. Status: age, 12 years, level, 58 class, elite genin, health, 1420/1420 chakra, 2310/2310 power, 221 endurance, 142 intelligence, 231 dexterity, 314 wisdom, 32 I am fucked. Therefore, the end.